Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to today we're going to mix it up because yesterday I was calling a hotline who helps people who have been watching a case going nowhere for a week. And they told me you have to do something for your own mental health, and for your viewers' mental health. So I thought we could spice it up a bit today, because today the Texas case will go through the state's cross-examination of an expert saying that because this defendant is 34 years old, has done some college education, he won't kill anybody in prison. It's going to be just as boring as how long was it yesterday, Jamie? 2.5 hours of looking at a PowerPoint presentation.
Was that the cultural anthropologist that brought a PowerPoint?
Yeah.
No. It's the one after that.
No. Wait.
Yeah.
After that, there was a clinical psychologist.
Oh, dear Jesus.
And
if it's not Dr. Beverly Lewis, I don't want to hear anyone.
I mean, it was interesting at first, some of the statistics, and then it just droned on and on and on and on. Like,
we have to, like I said yesterday, I would do a short recap. After we went offline yesterday, after the many interesting hours where Murph kept saying this will get interesting, you owe us a beer. They went on a short lunch break because they ended early. 2 hours and 20 minutes later, they came back. No, they didn't, because they had some trouble. So I think it was more like 2 hours and 40 minutes lunch break. And then they went till 6 in the evening talking about statistics showing that he wouldn't kill anyone in prison.
Yeah.
And then they were asking the state, how long will you go? And they said at least an hour. So I thought, I know Sal is going to jump on this Bradley Yohn, whatever case. But it started Tuesday. So I thought, well, we can just start. Why can't you just speak Danish? It's way easier for me. But we'll start it and get it going.
It's one of my many flaws.
Yeah.
Yeah, you Americans, we are 5.5 million people. Please learn our language. But I thought we could just see the opening statement from both. This is an interesting case. It's a pro se or pro per. I'm a student of the Brooks Law Department, so I'm not really sure the Latin phrases, but he is defending himself, and it's a case where he kidnapped and SA'd a 77-year-old lady. Her husband will be the first witness after the opening statements, I believe, so it could be a bit more interesting than watching spreadsheets. But if you wanted, we could just look at spreadsheets and the Great Seal of Webb County, Texas, or we could jump into the Yohn trial. I know what Jamie prefers. What do you say, Mo? Ceiling tile or a new case?
No death by PowerPoint, please. I mean, at this point, I want everyone in the jury to be able to give him little bits of the lethal injection just for having to have sat there forever.
You almost say,
sorry. I don't know where these thoughts come from, but they don't come from a filter.
Whew, it's a good start to the day.
Never ask Mo what she thinks.
No.
That's the lesson here.
Yeah, but I'm all for the jury can just pick and choose one in the jury who can go behind the bike shed with this guy. and all the witnesses and all the lawyers on both sides and the judge. I was hanging around in our provider of the stream chat yesterday, and a girl got angry that people said, "Why can't this judge watch his clock and keep a tight schedule? That's disrespecting to the court." And I thought, you can't disrespect the court. That's not a person. But people are weird over there. Don't go over there. It's just like in The Lion King. Only go where the sun shines. So, but let's do the morning drifting thing. Everyone a little mention, and most of all, we have to do a little singing. So
Aww.
let's do the Marilyn Monroe.
Not on the keyboard, sir.
That was my best Marilyn Monroe rendition. I hope you like it. Happy birthday, Dennis. It's always a special day when we've been around the sun one more time. And I hope you're getting to the age where you wake up every morning and thinking, oh, yeah, I'm still alive. I can feel everything hurt.
Happy birthday, Dennis.
Happy birthday.
Good morning, Christine. Iris is here. Jacqui. Kennedy. Yeah, funny when I just used Marilyn Monroe. I don't know where I got that. Murph is here. She is probably going to want to watch the ceiling tiles. No, I'm just kidding, Murph. I know you can take it.
Thanks, Indigo. I thought Baker was going to be wearing a florally shirt, so I was like, I'm catching in. I want a smexy intro by Farrell.
We can't all give them the smixiness, so one floral shirt per show.
Yeah,
that
too
is
many
true.
florals. It's too sexy.
We might balance or
talking about being too sexy. Good morning, David.
Oh, look who it is!
Let me fix.
He's still alive.
He's still alive. I thought you were a ghost.
Hang on, my audio's being dumb.
No, all these jokes are not gonna play well then.
I'm just gonna do them again.
We'll just say it again.
The hell?
And he's the
this is stupid. I'll be back.
Good morning, David. Goodbye, David.
He's gonna go off to the store and never come back.
Yeah, now he's going for that pack of 6. Good morning, Wendy. Tootly, she has an amazing accent when she's on a accidental hot mic. Atheist, good morning. Oline. Carlene, Andrea.
Where are you at? Oh, I would say Carlene.
Yeah, I'm having a David moment. Talking about having a David moment.
Hello. How we doing?
Yeah, we are doing. We're after a day yesterday where Jamie and I were contemplating what is life and do we need it. We're trying to start a new case that Sal will be covering on the weekend, but I thought we could just do some. It started Tuesday, so we can just get it started.
This is that guy that represents himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say of a 70-year-old lady. He's not as Daryl Brooks as Daryl Brooks is.
I clipped it a little bit this morning, and I was putting together a short about when you represent yourself, but you've only watched the first half of My Cousin Vinny.
Well, he did say his cousin is an idiot, so that's true to form. Because
so bad. The cross of the first witness of the victim's husband. That's what I was watching this morning.
Yeah, we'll probably get into that today. Yeah. If nothing happens interesting, let me say a rephrase. If nothing interesting happens in Texas, which it hasn't done this week, then we'll probably get through the Tuesday morning part because they edited it so there's not all these breaks. But yesterday they went for a 2-hour and 40-minute lunch break.
God. On the Texas case?
Yeah, Texas taxpayers must really think we get something for it. It's almost like being in Denmark Thank you, government. You spend our money well.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
How can you do it? Not only you're professional, you're judge. I know he's an elected judge, but still, you're judge. You can't run your own ship. Second of all, you have 12 people. I don't know if the alternates are there for the death penalty, but you have 12 people sitting for hours. Yesterday morning, they had a voir dire that took almost 2 hours. So you had, and they only showed up at 10, the jurors, but I think they got started at around 11 and then cut off at 12 and then came back 2 hours and 40 minutes later. And then they were sitting through an entire day of just looking at the statistics in a PowerPoint. And anyone who has ever been at a PowerPoint presentation that takes more than 20 minutes know that this guy is going to die because this jury is fed up with this case. I can promise you that.
It was
apparently
boring.
I caught part of it. It was extremely boring, and then I was watching it in Discord until people started yelling at me, so I left.
We were joking because you just ghosted.
Jamie told me to leave.
Well, because you came out of nowhere. You're like, what's going on or something? I'm like, David, where have you been?
I've been busy. This has been
to finish this trial without you.
I plan this week and next week and all the way up to the 24th, all kinds of work stuff. If you guys don't know, like lawyer things, we go on schedules, our court schedules, and we have to schedule them months in advance. And so I cleared my calendar for Sarah Boone, and I put everything like these 2 weeks. And it's not like I could just move stuff willy-nilly. And so I still have those obligations, even though Sarah Boone is apparently being moved. Hey, Joan.
So
hey, everybody
you're
in
saying
the chat.
that Michigan courts have schedules. What happened to our Southwestern courts? I'm confused.
I know, right? We have schedules and we stick to them. So nothing is getting moved. I am busier than all hell with real work, real life stuff. Supposedly, even though I'm maybe an AI bot from the chest up.
Where are you?
We were just
Well, if you're a horse from the waist down, the ladies would be interested.
I hear.
Truth, there is a whole genre of weird stuff. Like there is Yeti and Loch Ness Monster genre romance. I am not shitting you. I send them to Mr. Mo at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Maybe Sean is getting into that.
I believe you.
You know, on a side note, for all those guys and gals that are fantasizing about mermaids and mermen, don't you think that it would be more advantageous for them to be fish from the waist up?
No.
Okay.
Well, no, because that would be ugh.
Why would you want to go with someone?
Well, how does it work if they're fish from the waist down?
I don't know. I don't know how any of this works.
Look, people, smut has no boundaries.
Yes. But you want the gorgeous torso and face. You don't want to.
Yeah, they have to have that little V thingy. I mean, it's a pretend thing. It doesn't really exist except for like 1% of 1% people. But
yeah,
on all covers of romance, the V thingy exists.
I'll give so with the Sarah Boone case. So what happened was they had a pretrial hearing that was already scheduled as a sort of a final status update before the trial begins. The attorney for Sarah Boone had reported to the court that the expert that's been retained had issued an opinion, but was unwilling to present that opinion until she was paid, which is understandable. And the court is supposed to pay this expert, yet somehow the court has not paid this expert. It was addressed with the judge, and the judge said, well, of course, we need to get her paid. And we're going to coordinate all of that to make sure she gets paid so she can issue her opinion, and then the state can issue their expert opinion in response. And if that doesn't get worked out by the 21st, they're going to have a new status conference to figure out what's going on with paying this expert and getting everything lined up and getting the opinion shared, which means that it might be adjourned. It might not go on the 24th. But if things happen, say like today, the expert gets paid, opinions get issued back and forth, then there's still a possibility that it goes forward on the 24th. So it hasn't officially been adjourned yet. So that's the update on Sarah Boone. But there's a concern that it might.
She's in jail.
Oh yeah. She's in jail. She's not going anywhere.
And she couldn't get bond money.
I don't remember what her bond is. She does have a bond set, but who's going to bail her out?
I don't know. Can you? In Denmark, we when we bring back our bottles, we get a small amount back. Maybe she had enough bottles lying around, so she could just get that $1 million that way.
Let's see. She's in Florida. I don't know.
Husband's paying to keep her in.
I don't know if Florida has a return bottle return policy. Michigan apparently is the highest, though. We get 10 cents per bottle.
Mm-hmm.
We have different scales because we have plastic bottles for Coke or sodas and different stuff. So we have different scales, but it's a good way to keep most of them off the street. But we go to Germany and get them without this return payment, and then we just throw those in the nature because reasons. It's the EU. You can't make it up. We have different rules. Talking about EU. Good morning. Good night. Excited.
Hi, excited.
Excited is going on and on about Grizzly and how they call every defendant a monster. Yeah. that's the boxed wine true crime ladies out there.
And I would like to say I'm against them. I am different. I watch the trials.
Yeah.
And I know things. I mean, not all the things, but some.
Yeah. Well, they're the channels that automatically think they're guilty right off the bat. So.
Well, yeah.
Sarah Boone case is not going on the 24th. It's down the road. Or, we right now it's still scheduled for the 24th. And the judge didn't indicate that the trial was being adjourned, just that they were setting a new status conference or pretrial conference. So in the system, we have series of status conferences or pretrial conferences, and it's an opportunity for the parties to address any issues that they might have, such as discovery, inform the court as to the readiness for trial and things like that. And the court always schedules one a couple weeks out from trial to make sure that there are no last-minute issues that need to be addressed. In this case, in Sarah Boone's case, there is a last-minute issue, and it's that the court has not paid the defense expert, which needs to happen. So that's the last-minute issue. It doesn't mean that trial is going to be adjourned. It just means that they need to address that issue, and it has the possibility of being adjourned. So right now, I am still leaving my thumbnail up for the 24th. I believe that's going to go. I'm hoping it goes. And yeah, so that's where we are.
And excited. I can't say that I'm 100% objective because I have my own opinions. We all do. But I think this crew is pretty good, and the chat is pretty good to try and give everyone a chance, even though LNC puts on the Grizzly headlines. It's only 3 in the afternoon. I shouldn't be talking this bad English, but I like that this group is pretty good at keeping their minds open, because too many of the other chats, it's just let them burn. Well, they haven't made the opening statement. Nope, but I read the headlines. They're guilty. Mm-hmm. So
exactly what it is.
I hope. What happened here? I'm just doing a little housekeeping behind there. If anyone is wondering if the trial that's supposed to start 45 minutes ago, how that's going. Here we are.
Texas needs to explain itself. Like,
David needs to give them a stern talking to.
Yeah, David, call and say, I am with Helm Media.
Still the freaking Texas case?
That should have been done 4 years ago. Seriously.
Hey, can we wrap this up already?
Yeah, and again, it's just, and I know it's the life of a person and all this stuff, but again, I know you don't want to get into appeal stuff, but is it really a good thing to have the jury sit through another week of this kind of stuff right after doing the first 2 weeks? Those people are really, really, really keen to get out of there. And this judge is really bad at keeping them happy, keeping them on time, keeping them engaged. They're just sitting in the jury box for hours. Like Mo said yesterday, I would have picked up smoking just to get out of the jury room. No matter how good a spread they put on, they have been there for 3 weeks now. And I bet Texas is hot. And even if there's air conditioning with 12 people in a room, it's going to be humid, it's going to be nasty. And there's always that guy, the one who's a bit too fond of cheese, the ripe old cheese. And he didn't really shower this week. So
it's the state. They're like, every time they bring a witness up, the defense does, they want, now all of a sudden they want to voir dire them. And like the judge yelled at him yesterday. He's like, you knew about this. Like, what are you doing? So they spent.
Is it still the state's case?
No, the defense is doing it now, but the main witness they had yesterday, they wanted to question, or he started talking about his CV or whatever, and then they stopped him and they wanted to like object to all this stuff, and then they wanted to know what he was going to testify to. And I'm like, did they not know this beforehand? So then they spent almost 45 minutes or so just like asking stupid questions over and over and over again.
And when he was in front of the jury, they did pretty good. They asked the only question that was he was a cultural anthropologist, so he was talking about the culture of Border Patrol agents. Every Border Patrol agent, every law enforcement agent, and every military guy is sleeping around and on testosterone. Yeah. That's that according to his studies.
And alpha male and all that stuff in there.
Yeah, and he does all his studying by asking people on Whataburger if they take testosterone. It was so crazy. But then they ask, is there a culture of killing your mistresses in the Border Patrol? Yeah. No. And they should just have finished there. Because that was a great question to ask.
Yep. They did to both. Both of them.
It sounds like a whole bunch of nonsense.
So.
Yeah, I understand why they want to put in that. Yeah, it's a macho culture and this. But the only question they should ask every witness is, but do all the other guys who's in this macho culture kill their wife, girlfriend, and kids? Yeah. And when the experts say, no, thank you, next witness. Because the only thing the jury is going to hear from all of this is nothing. It's just talk. And it's the culture in the Border Patrol environment as a whole. You can't put this on one case.
Do we have, I mean, like, do you guys have a feeling on where you would go with, like, death versus life?
I don't roll with the death penalty, so life for me would be my thing, but I don't know what they're thinking.
I'm saying baby makes him bleed. I've said that since Friday.
What I would do versus what the jury is going to do, what I would do, I would say that there's not enough aggravating. If you look at the law and you on balance, it's life with prison or life in prison for me. Now, this jury who has had to sit through all of this and seen the pictures 94 times, he's getting the needle. And I vote that since they've wasted so much time, every single one in the jury gets to give him just a little bit of that needle when the time comes.
Maybe to the prosecutor. Maybe take the prosecutor out with him. Just be like, you're wasting so much of our time.
Yeah. The one lady who's constantly asking stupid questions and can't get to any point of what she's trying to say. You should have seen the two-toned lady. She was really, really good at. They had some objections about the 5th, the 14th, the 6th Amendment, with the spousal thing. She
Mhm.
did a really good job in trying to keep those things out. But she seemed really capable, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like her actually, with her arguments and stuff. But
Reindeer thinks that because they're Catholics, they're not going to do the death. But I feel like because they're Catholics, they'd be more likely to do the death. You know, Catholics have a lot of punishment for bad acts in there.
Mhm.
I'm Catholic light because I'm Lutheran, so I know the idea of punishment. Actually, I was baptized Catholic, so technically I am Catholic.
Same. We
Well, I've
call that
never seen
recovering Catholic.
a death penalty case in Texas. I mean, just from like what I hear is like people are like crazy in Texas and they love that sort of thing, but I don't know that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it seems like that's just my view of it. So I don't really know like what they're thinking.
Catholics should not believe in the death penalty. I don't know.
I don't know. Like,
Is that true? I think
I don't know.
I live in a
always
part of
heard- like,
the
always saw
world where
Texas
the
as, like,
Catholics they had a power for a pretty long time, and I do believe we celebrate a thing called St. Hans at around midsummer, where we celebrate what the Catholics did to women who got a little too mouthy. Mo.
really?
Well, mouthy
Well, I
women,
think-
I mean, that's different.
And I think there's a difference between Midwestern or Northeastern Catholics and Southern border Catholics too. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, they come from this. It's a Hispanic culture, as I was told yesterday. That it's totally different, and I'm pretty sure that if you come from South America, you probably have a different view than if you're living in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Because if your family came here last generation, they've seen things. They have seen really bad things, and they see bad things every day on the border. So I think that happens a lot.
I have to jump off in a second, but I wanted to give a Sarah Boone exclusive. If you want to pull up the, not exclusive, but like counter to what Court TV and all that other stuff. I shared a screen. Look, okay, so this is the docket for Sarah Boone right here. Hearing is still, or the trial is still scheduled for the 24th. There's just a status conference, a status hearing on the 21st, which means that this has not been adjourned yet. So don't listen to what Court TV and LNC are telling you all. So that's what I wanted to bring up there. That's all.
Yeah, but again, we've seen before cases go on, cases get pushed, cases. We're just happy. We're just happy that we saw your
it could
pretty
be
face.
pushed, but it's just they're reporting that it's adjourned indefinitely and all that. It's not. It's still there.
Oh, that's just a law and I
Okay,
can say law
is
and
it bad that I want it to be adjourned so Sarah can write another batch of letters and I can rack it off of it?
Yeah.
But didn't she write another letter? I was told there was another letter.
Yes, there
It's
was.
just the wrong screen.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, I need to find that.
There is another letter. I don't have a copy of it yet. I'm going to grab it. Correspondence here. It was June 6th. Let's see. The correspondence was filed with the clerk. No other communication. I need to get a copy of it. Because I only have the notice of the correspondence being filed. I don't have the actual correspondence. So I need to request a copy of that.
I just thought that didn't someone say it was released 2 days ago? We talked about it on the stream, but I don't know.
Wait, was it
Yeah.
June 6th the last one?
Yeah, I heard this from his
thought
wife
so.
last time we were on stream together.
Yeah, no, the last correspondence was June 6th. So we don't have a new one.
Ah, is that the one where she said that the judge was in a racket with everyone? Because I believe
Yeah.
that was the last one. Dang it.
Yeah, there was an
That's
April one, a
taken.
May one, and then there's a June 6th one.
I heard there's a new one, but it hasn't been released yet.
Well, it's not even in the court docket yet. I mean, I can show you guys. Oh yeah, let me show this again. You guys want to see how a court docket actually works?
I do, because Daryl Brooks never got his docket, and I feel like we should, atone for that.
Okay,
check it?
if you want to pull it up. All right, so this is what's that?
Is it Tackett?
It's a tacit agreement with the people.
Oh, yeah. All right, so this is how it's court. So it's either the first to last, so sometimes the oldest thing, like the complaint, would be at the top, but this one's reverse. But this is anything that's been filed with the court, whether you have access to it or not, is contained within this docket. So this is a schedule here for the hearing, or the trial is scheduled for the 24th. The status conference was scheduled for the 21st. A notice of hearing went out on the 11th, so that was 2 days ago, about these two dates. Okay, we can maybe pull that up. I don't know if you can see that one. Oh, you can't see one. That's okay, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, you can click on these and pull these up. All right, so here's the last correspondence, which is June 6th. There's no correspondence that's been recorded. Anything that gets filed with the court gets recorded here, even if it's confidential. So you can see here, there's a confidential icon. So anything that's been filed that's confidential that you don't have access to would have this little blue folder with a lock. But even if that exists, it's still going to be recorded here. So you have all of her correspondence. Here's one from January 17th. I'm assuming their correspondence from, no, this is from the defense attorney. Okay. But here are other correspondence from judge. This is correspondence from the defendant to judge, from the defendant to judge. This one just says correspondence. So this might not actually be from Sarah herself on June 6th. But if it was recorded with the court, if it was sent to the court, it would be recorded here, and it hasn't been recorded. So to my knowledge, nothing new exists. So
can everyone watch these dockets?
Yep. Yeah, I'll put the link right now in your chat.
Yep. It's just because we can only see a case number and what the case is about when I go into to watch. I keep tab on what's going on in trial, because if I'm on the short list to be called in, so I know if I have to be home if there's trials going on that day, and then I can just see it's drugs, it's violence, it's whatever.
Yeah, all you have to do, so here's my little trick. Figure out what court it is, okay? And then I literally Google, because sometimes it's not clear on the court's main website where this record search is. That's usually what you have to go to, is find the record search, then find the case. Well, you type in the name, and then you see all of them, and then you got to sort of look at a few and make sure you got the right case that you're looking for. And then you could just click on it, and all this information will be here. You can also request copies of documents too. Like if I wanted a copy, well, I mean, some of this stuff, like the notice of hearing, I can just pull up right now. Some of the stuff you need to order from the court, but all that information is in here. Most courts, I won't say all courts, but most courts have this information available. But here's my trick. I go to Google and I type in Orange County Circuit Court, Florida, online case lookup. Online case lookup. Type that into Google search, and it usually takes you straight to the link where you just type in then the party's first and last name, search through the cases, and you can find it. I did the same with Darrell Brooks the other day, or actually this morning I did Darrell Brooks because I wanted to make sure I had the hearing date and everything for his new trial.
Yeah, because I was looking into the Montgomery, not Alex Montgomery, the Adam Montgomery, and trying to find the papers, and when they were released, the unredacted affidavit, and it was really hard to find anything on the website of the court, because I went into the court and wrote the name, and nothing came up.
What court is it?
It's in New Hampshire somewhere. I can't remember.
What's his name?
Wasn't it Adam Montgomery?
Adam Montgomery, yes. Yeah.
And anyone wondering, nope, Texas is still not going live. Yeah, Adam Montgomery, yeah. It's the other one, Alex Murdoch, I was thinking about.
Okay. Let's see here.
Because I think on what was the name of, somewhere you can read through it all, so I could get it there through a link from some kind of local newspaper. So it was the good old-fashioned Googling. Press a lot of links, and suddenly they're there.
Okay, so January 10th, 2022 is the appearance by counsel. Let me see. This looks like this is in reverse order. So the newest stuff is at the bottom at the end of the docket. Oh, wait, this is waiver of arraignment and extradition. I thought this was like Florida or something, wasn't it? Or no, it's in New Hampshire.
Yeah, it's the Harmony Montgomery case. The young girl who the gun case that I covered that will go into a missing persons murder of his 5-year-old daughter.
Case access portal. Verify that I'm a human. Hey, I passed.
I never pass.
No, they're always asking hard questions. Can you point to the bicycles?
I know. I'm like, I don't. There's all. Does this little itty bitty piece mean that that's a bicycle?
Yeah. Me and the AI, we're just saying funny non-binary sounds. No binary sounds. It's binary when it's a computer. Binary sounds in the corner because we broke down. No, he's a really good AI. He's only a human from the waist up. Show me your leg should be the way to get past any of these are you human thingies.
I'm looking. New Hampshire's kind of got a weird setup. All their courts are merged into one.
Yeah, and when you I tried to type in. I found a place where they had the case number. Tried to put that in. I've tried the name. I tried the daughter's name, and then I ended up in New Hampshire, Manchester newspaper kind of thing, and they had the affidavit, a link to the affidavit, so I could see it unredacted.
So this is what I have pulled up right now. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
So this is what I found, which is the New Hampshire Judicial Branch. Is this the right case though? Because I know he's got a couple of cases since this is January of 2022, and then everything goes down. But the last thing is a waiver of arraignment and waiver of extradition, which I don't remember him being extradited. Supplement to motion to suppress statements. So this was September of 2022. So I don't know if this is the right case.
You have a lot of cases, this guy.
Yeah, but it's just people don't have to see us make all the behind the scenes work because they get
no. But I would just like to show people how you can access this stuff somewhat, and
but I
you
think
should be able to get access to it.
I found that one too and tried to click around, and I didn't see anything looking like the one things I was looking for. So, yeah, it's yeah. Bye, Tia. Have a nice day at work.
Oh, have a good one. Wendy, meet you, EU. Are we simping Nick and Dave? Maybe.
So Dave is not the other person you pay.
Okay.
Trial is on now.
Well, we miss you, Dave.
Yeah, well, I miss you all too. I thought I'd come in here and see some excited Texas v. Ronald Burgos, testimony, and apparently not. Apparently not.
Never.
Your hopes were way too high, David.
Yeah.
Well, if you wanna see exciting thingies,
a positive COVID, and
oh God.
the juror has. I've spoken to the juror this morning.
COVID.
Again,
They're going to cancel everything because the juror has COVID.
and
I'm gonna
Oh,
scream.
for the love of Christ.
she is extremely symptomatic, and so, but she's doing fine. She says not to worry about her. She says, and so in any event, I asked her the obvious questions under the rules that whether she believes that she is symptomatic under the CDC rules. Of course, they tell you if you're symptomatic, you should not go out in public. You should wear a mask. You should.
She can just follow it
in any
on
event,
Broken Baker.
She's been advised by her doctor to stay home, isolate, to rest, and everything has to be done. In any event, as a result of that, I find that in fact she's unable to continue with her duties, and she's unable to act under the statute. And there's a limited basis in which we can discharge somebody as a juror, and my inclination is to discharge her based on the situation that's going on with her and her inability to continue and to discharge.
This lady had the most
in
well-timed
situation.
case
From
of the
state
coup
side,
I've
do you
ever
have any
seen.
objections?
She was
Only
at
it
her
could
doctor's
happen,
office
like,
with a gun this morning.
It was orchestrated, definitely.
Yeah.
Give me a doctor's note to get out of here.
This juror is licking
Juror number 12.
like windows and door
She probably
handles.
was. I guarantee it.
I would at this point.
So she would be
I'd like that.
discharged, and she will. You have the list. Oh, has the list.
I agree, Aaron.
So the
Let's
first
get it
alternate
out. What are
will
we
step
doing?
into that place. They were sworn in as alternates, but they also were sworn in as with the jury oath, and they were advised that they would step in that capacity, already been sworn in to do what they have to do and continue to do in this case. We'll advise them of the status. Okay, with regard to the rest of the jury. The rest of the jury was given high recommendations or to under CDC recommendations and rules that they
Oh my God,
that
come
they were
on.
not symptomatic, that they do not have to
Judge Schroeder goes faster than this
stay
guy.
home.
Can we give him a note and tell him to put himself on 1.25 or 1.5 at a minimum?
Good mask, and that they
Who?
in fact they don't even recommend that they get tested. I highly
A
recommend
juror
that
has
they get tested,
COVID.
since they've been together for 3 days this week. And
I'll be going to Switzerland, but
most
if
of
I
them
can
opted to do that.
put it in my
We,
schedule, I will.
have given as an option.
If you
the
want, we
county
can dual
facility to
stream
get that done.
if you just
obviously
started
free of
and all.
charge.
Because won't that be in
And so
school
a lot of them
time?
have
So
opted
I
to
can do that.
So they're doing that this morning. They will
Yeah,
report their status.
hopefully school time.
They did keep the alternates, John, Gary. I remember that. They said they were going to keep the alternates for
As soon as
the
possible.
penalty phase, but I thought they said they were sending them home, like they weren't able to talk about the
We
case.
will start 1 o'clock, given.
So this is weird. I don't know what they're going to do.
Given whatever is that was reported to us.
Did you say it's going
from there, but that's the plan for now.
1 o'clock.
The first alternate is Emmanuel Garcia.
Yep, you just dox him.
Alternate.
No, God.
Emmanuel Garcia. You just been doxed by the judge.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, not to be that person, but maybe it's like John Smith. How many Manuel Garcias
I need
are
to
there in?
Get off and take care of a couple of things.
Yeah,
and I'll
that's
come back
probably
and do
John
those motions.
Smith.
Don't go anywhere. The defendant can.
I mean-
unless you need them here to discuss those motions.
So they're breaking
here.
until
If
1.
not, put them in the holding cell and bring them back.
Shocker.
All right, thank you.
Aaron, I will
I mean,
cover
unless,
the Montgomery trial if I'm not on a mountain in the Swiss Alps, because reception can get kind of tricky near the address. That's not the Swiss Alps, that's the French Alps.
Oh my God.
Um,
I
but
hate
if
the sport. I hate them so much.
yeah, and luckily they're not going to do anything till 1 o'clock, so we can do what my plan was the entire time. Yeah, I'm just gonna. We jump into the Yoon John trial, cover that for a couple of hours, and hopefully, then Jamie can be on Discord with all the friends and suffer through the pain of listening to Judge Molasses stumbling through words.
Oh my God, that was the worst.
I hate
Well, I'm
this.
glad I was here for all of this.
Yeah, finally some excitement. COVID came back,
COVID came back with a vengeance for this poor lady.
and this
Just at
lady
the
was
right
at the
time.
doctor's this morning saying, "You getting me off this trial, or something's going to happen to you. I know where to live."
She's got a physician assistant that lives next door that's going to fill out some paperwork for her and get her off of this jury.
Yeah, but
Yeah, let's do this guy.
yeah, I said
All
that
right.
we would cover. That's why I put the nice guy in the thumbnail for today. It's because I got so bored yesterday. I know Sal is gonna pick this trial up on Saturday, but I thought you lovely ladies need to be kept warm so you're ready for Sal. So we'll start out because it started Tuesday. So just to keep you going until Saturday when you can get all the Sal you need, we're gonna start this today. But are you gonna go, David?
Appetizer for you guys. That's awesome.
It's just a little pity for till before the main course, which is Sal on Saturdays. Are you gonna go, or what, are you gonna stay and see the beginning?
I'm gonna go. I gotta go. I see Tweety in the tweet though. You like my barn doors, or in the chat?
I like them.
She likes my barn doors. I mean, show them how they work. They slide. I mean, they slide on rails. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, these are my barn doors.
Probably just want to check out your booty when you go over there.
Yeah, I'm not opening it. There's client files in there, but they slide. I'm going to jump off though. I did watch part of this. This is a very interesting case, and I look forward to you guys covering it. The one last thing I'll say is I did put up. Well, first of all, I have Valhalla coming on tonight. And then I did put up a stream for Daryl Brooks, his second trial, which is starting. So I'm either doing Boone or Brooks or both.
Didn't he plead guilty to the gun charges?
Yeah, but we still have the bond jumping, domestic violence, and all kinds of other stuff.
Oh, he just wants to re-interview what's her face, Erica. He just wants
to. He has a lawyer this time, though, right?
Yeah.
God, I hope so.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how effective this lawyer's going to be. He might be like still, shenanigans and building box forts and objecting over his lawyer. So we'll see.
I saw some.
Highly entertaining.
I was going down the Brooks whole one day, and I saw the preliminary hearings where he undressed and stuff like that. I haven't seen that before. It's just, oh my God. But is it pro per or pro se?
Either way, it works. They're both Latin, meaning on your own, essentially. So,
okay.
Yeah. I say improper, others say impro se.
But Mo and I, we are students at the Legal Academy of Daryl Brooks, so we're going to be all the lawyering.
Well, this guy isn't. Well, he's not like as obstinate as Brooks, but he definitely doesn't know what he's doing.
No, and he uses all the words. He uses all. The longer, the better. I think his take on them are, because it's kind of like me trying to speak English. It's not going that well.
He doesn't know how to cross-examine, right? I mean, anyways, you guys will see. I clipped a bit of it. I'm going to put a little snippet up later, but you guys have fun. Now back to real work.
All right.
Yeah, have fun in court or whatever you're doing today. And thank you for showing up. It's always nice to see you.
Yeah, you guys too.
Getting worried that you had to go out of state to get cigarettes.
Well, and then Jamie, when I did show up, I came back home and Jamie was like, "No, go. We don't want you here." So
I was joking because
the kids have been fine with argue. They didn't miss you at all.
We did.
Yeah.
You haven't showed up to say hi, and then you just come busting in. I don't even remember.
I've been busy. All right, see you guys.
Bye.
Have fun.
Oh my goodness, guys! So there are wine bottles that are shaped like male things. I think I need the entire set.
Yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was angry that we were covering this case. Off. He came in at the wrong time yesterday when I was ready to just yeet this whole court.
Yeah, this court has just about lost my. No, we're done.
Yeah, Lord Daddy, his cigarettes are more important than all his kids. and we are 37 of his kids, maybe 40 with the ones who is on the stream. But let's get into this. So it's not just another stab you day. Let's try to,
Yes, sorry.
because Texas won't do it, try to keep this ship not on the rails. Ships don't go on rails.
On course.
Whatever ships do. Let's just press play, and then I'm going to see what
Your Honor.
Molly is eating.
May it please the court, the defense, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. At 77 years old, Tina Lohman had raised 4 children. She was a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and a great-grandmother. She ran a successful business with her husband, Tim. But to Tina, what was most important was her family. And on November 9th, 2021, she was looking forward to celebrating the upcoming Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays with her family. She was looking forward to spending those holidays with her husband, her children, her 14 grandchildren, and her 17 great-grandchildren. She had bought the Christmas presents, they were wrapped, they were ready to be placed under the Christmas tree. But Tina Lohman, she wouldn't get to see the joy and the looks of anticipation on the faces of those grandchildren and great-grandchildren. She wouldn't get to hear them say, "Merry Christmas, Grandma," when they showed up at her house to open those presents. She wouldn't get to experience the joy of opening the presents that her husband and children had bought her. Because on November 9th, 2021, she was kidnapped by the defendant, she was robbed by the defendant, and she was brutally and violently sexually assaulted by the defendant. The defendant left Tina bruised and battered. He left her bleeding on the floor, unable to stand, emotionally and physically scarred, until she would die 33 days later on December 12th, 2021. On November 9th, 2021, Tina was driving home when it was starting to get dark. She started to have car trouble. She must have been so scared, like any woman would
Your Honor, I object. Grounds? The death has no relevance in this case. It,
Thank you, Your Honor. She must have been so scared, as any woman would be, driving home at night with car trouble, alone on a dark bottom road, and no one to help her. But then a car started to approach her. How do you think she felt? Was she relieved? Did she think she was going to get help? Was she scared? Was something bad about to happen? But she was 77 years old. And this is Quincy. Nothing bad happens in Quincy, right? In Quincy, when you have trouble, people stop, they pull over, and they help you. But instead of a random act of kindness, the defendant and his accomplice showed up. They showed up to commit an act of violence, an act of terror, an act of rape. Every woman's worst nightmare on a dark bottom road. The defendant forced his way into Tina's car. Tina thought it was about taking money and jewelry from her. She thought the defendant was going to kill her, so she told her she had more stuff back at her house. The defendant's accomplice followed them and hurt another car. But the defendant was not just satisfied with money or jewelry. The defendant wanted more from this 77-year-old great-grandmother. As the defendant drove Tina's car back toward the house as they were being followed by the accomplice, the defendant reached over, grabbing Tina and forcing his penis into her mouth. When they arrived at Tina's house, Tina was able to get away. She was able to run inside, lock the door, while the defendant and the woman with him, his accomplice, were in the garage. But the defendant wasn't done. He wasn't going to let Tina get away. He kicked in the door to her house, breaking down the door, leaving a shoe print, and the nightmare for Tina continued. The defendant stole money and jewelry from inside Tina's house. He pushed her down the stairs, and he tried to get into her basement safe. Then the defendant bent Tina over a chair in her living room. He shoved his penis into her vagina. He shoved his penis into her mouth. He told her to act like she liked it. And then when the defendant was finished using Tina for his sick, his twisted purposes, he sprayed her mouth and body with carpet cleaner. While the defendant was doing all of these things, robbing her, assaulting her, his accomplice, the woman that was with him, was holding a knife and threatening Tina's life. After the defendant finished robbing Tina of her dignity, he fled. He fled with Tina's purse. He fled with her jewelry. He took her money. He fled with Tina's car. He even took Tina's rosary. Then he went across the river to Hannibal and he played video poker at a gas station. Tina's husband, Tim Schmidt, arrived home. He found Tina on the floor, crying and bleeding, crying that she'd been raped, bleeding from her body. Next to Tina was the knife that her life had been threatened with. Tim, her husband, gave Tina a gun because Tina was so terrified the defendant and his accomplice were going to come back. Then he called 911. Tim asked Tina to tell him what had happened, and she relived that nightmare again as she told him how she had been violated, how she had been robbed, how she had been left bloody and bruised on that floor. For the weeks after her assault, Tina was in pain, both emotional pain and physical pain. She never had the opportunity to recover because on December 12th, 2021, Tina's heart broke and she died. Tina won't be able to take that witness stand. She won't be able to tell you what the defendant and the accomplice did to her. Instead, her husband will tell you what Tina told him that night when he found her crying and bleeding on their living room floor. Tina can't tell you about what happened on November 9th, 2021, but you will get to see the photographs that were taken at Blessing Hospital by the nurse, Jacqueline Oglesby. The photographs of Tina's mouth, where the defendant had sprayed her with carpet cleaner. The photographs of Tina's vagina, where the defendant had shoved his penis inside of her. The photographs of Tina's body, where showing that she had been left bruised and beaten. Tina won't be able to come here and tell you about the pain. She won't be able to tell you about the humiliation she suffered. You will get to hear from Dr. Ada Kagumba, Tina's doctor, and she'll tell you about the injuries she observed on Tina the week after the defendant had sexually assaulted her. Tina won't be able to come here. She won't be able to look the defendant in the eye and say, "You did this to me." But on that cold, dark November night, one of the reasons Tina was so terrified is she had no idea who the person was that attacked her. She didn't know his name, she didn't know where he had come from, and she didn't know where he went. But she did know. She knew he had red hair, she knew he had a red beard, and she knew he had her purse, jewelry, and her car.
Sorry, I'm just going to see if there could be. I'm going to look into see if I can find a better stream than this one.
And the day after, November 9, 2021, November 10th, 2021, the day after she had been brutally and violently robbed and sexually assaulted, the U.S. Marshals found the defendant in Springfield, Missouri. When they found the defendant in Springfield, Illinois. When they found the defendant in Springfield, the defendant had Tina's purse over his shoulder. Inside that purse were Tina's jewelry, Tina's voter ID card. On the defendant's wrist was Tina's watch. And inside the defendant's pocket was Tina's rosary. On the defendant's feet were a pair of shoes that exactly matched the shoe print left at the scene at Tina's house. And just down the street from where the defendant was found was Tina's car covered in the defendant's fingerprints. And despite the defendant's efforts to destroy any DNA by spraying carpet cleaner on Tina, there was male DNA found by the Illinois State Police. Male DNA was found on the Depends, the adult diaper that Tina had been wearing that night of November 9th, 2021. Male DNA that was on Tina's Depends was determined to be 310 times more likely to be the defendant's DNA. The can of carpet cleaner that the defendant had used to spray Tina's mouth and body that was found at the house, that was tested for fingerprints. And the defendant's fingerprint was found on that can of carpet cleaner. What the defendant did to Tina Lohman on November 9th, 2021, it was horrific. It was violent. It was a nightmare. It was something no woman, no 77-year-old grandmother should ever have to experience. What the defendant did to Tina Lohman on November 9th, 2021, it was sick. It was twisted. It was perverted. What he did to Tina Lohman is called home invasion. It's called aggravated kidnapping. It's called aggravated vehicular hijacking. It's called residential burglary. And it's called aggravated criminal sexual assault. And at the end of this case, you will be called to hold the defendant accountable for what he did to Tina Lohman on November 9th, 2021. Thank you, Your Honor.
So that was the state opening. I'm just trying to pull up another stream that might be better than this, because this was not really good. But I'm sorry, folks, with the
It is
yeah.
okay. We're just
Yeah,
all
I-
in here talking about Gen Pop justice, allegedly.
Yeah, because this is
Well, we got to hear his side, everybody. I mean, I'm just joking.
as always, we try to keep our minds open. It's but it's a horrific horrific tale of what happened to this old lady, 77 years old. It's just yeah.
And for this ass to say the murder or the death has nothing to do with this, like, what are you, sir?
Is he trying to say it because it didn't happen right away? Like, it still matters.
I'm
But-
sure his dumbass thinks. I mean, haven't heard him talk. I'm
I
sure
know.
he's an intellectual giant.
Yeah.
I'm over here just,
Well, like, what?
assuming.
Did I miss what happened to her? Like,
I
Yeah.
mean,
33 days later, she passed away. But what happened? Like, I guess they'll find out.
We'll probably find out.
it
found
seems
this
like
one
she's
from
dancing around suicide. To me,
maybe
or-
that, or they can't directly link it to this crime. So
Oh yeah, that's what they said. They said her heart broke and she died, but
yeah.
I need to find out what does that mean exactly.
it could.
Yeah, but again, you can't, if you can't correlate and say, well, she had so many damages
think
done to
so.
her body that so you can't say it was this one thing that killed her. Yeah, the defendant is representing himself, so we'll see what kind of intellectual lighthouse this is. Call them lighthouses in Denmark.
He did what he deserved.
We'll just try to see if this stream is better. I'm sorry, it's not my end that's blinking. It's the stream.
Okay, I do have a question. They said they found the defendant wearing her purse. Dude, what kind of weird? Because I'm picturing a Bradley like floral.
You will hear about a cop who arrested him on day 2 or 3, I believe. Day 2, I believe, where he talks about what he had on him. And Antron, yeah, because the Texas trial, LNC just pulled the stream because today one of the witnesses was positive for the disease we can't mention on YouTube without getting all kinds of shadow banned. So they will probably get going at 1 Texas time, which is just 2 hours before Baker go sleepy time. So we'll do like we do most days. Start again tomorrow with a short recap. And this Texas trial just bored me to tears. So I thought we could jump on to this Bradley Yohn trial to see where it goes. It seems like a bit of a more interesting case where there's probably something happening. I thought, what was it? 10-minute opening statement from the state. I like that. I hate when they talk too much.
Yeah.
Now let's see how well people. Yeah, let's hope he's a student at the Darrell Brooks Law Academy like Mo and I.
Yes.
My former upstairs neighbor, she trains six days a week, and I think she's in her 80s now. And watching those ladies and thinking about this, it's yeah, and a female accomplice who did a plea deal. Yeah,
It's
it
disgusting.
was the Muddy Rivers recap of the morning videos. So now we'll jump on to LNC. It could be that it's just a bad signal from the trial because Muddy Rivers don't have the live feed up, so everything is put together later. So there could be something going wrong when they edit stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And no
English is a silly
no
language.
action. We will hope there will be some case action. So let's jump in and see. Oh, well, then it's probably the feed that is bad. But we'll see how bad it is. I just hope we have something more interesting than the Texas trial, or else I will send you out to play, kids. Then you can go to the playground, have fun, and get some sun. But let's see what his defense is. And tell me if the sound is okay, because it was really loud in my ears.
I'm here to make any opening statement.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what you just heard were theatrics. Theatrics, something one puts forth in order to obtain and persuade you to obtain a conviction in a trial. I will concede that some things Ms. Keck here stated do in fact ring true. However, they're not as she stated them. There are many discrepancies in this case that have yet to be finalized. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today this is going to be very hard for all of us. We have people here in the stands. It's going to be extremely hard for them. It's going to be extremely hard for you. It's extremely hard for myself. I'm the one here on these claims. However, these claims are not quite true.
F all about yourself.
And I will show you that today.
Sorry?
I said, sir, I care F all about himself.
Yeah.
Well, as always, ladies, gentlemen, let's keep our minds open. It was just theatrics.
Yeah, and the DNA on the depends totally could be someone else.
Yeah, but we are not Grizzly. We are not LNC.
No, I know. I'm sorry.
We don't condemn people before we have a reason to, and then we do.
I'm just seeing my grandma. Y'all sorry.
Well, let's see how far it goes. Well, he has a lot of experience in trial, so he could be better than most new lawyers. He has done a lot of casework. Well, I try to be a channel where everyone has a say. There was people over on Law and C that believed you shouldn't be able to even represent yourself in cases like this, and you shouldn't even be allowed to have a defense because it's too vile. I think that's a
Okay,
bit
no.
too far. Everyone, even the biggest SOB on the planet, has the right to a defense. But let's just see how good his defense is, and then we can try to figure out if we think his defense is believable or not. Farrell, I'm open-minded. I'm as open-minded as Jody Arias is open other places.
Those are 3 holes.
I apologize for having you awesome people here today. Yes, it's a duty of citizenship to have to serve on a jury every so often. There's not many smiles today. However, I did see some yesterday. I appreciate those smiles. That has brought a light to my soul as I've been stuck here in this county jail, tormented for the last 19 months. I ask that you forgive my appearance. This is not normally me. I normally have hair. I did not expect you to feel sorry for me by any means. I also understand you'd much rather be enjoying your summer at home rather than being in this courtroom. However, the powers that compel have brought you here today. I once heard that trials are based on persuasion. Who has the best persuasion in their words? Who can be persuaded by the persuadee? Words like persuasion, I believe they're negative myself. They're kind of like manipulation, very negative. It's negative in my insight to persuade somebody, especially when you want to persuade somebody as to the charges here today and not have the proof needed to present those theatrics and not have the proof needed to present those theatrics. To persuade one's life away, as Ms. Keck stated, the sickening in herself. If they were to truly happen, they're sick, they're demented, they're horrendous, horrid. Persuasion, I see that in the same sense as to persuade something that is not true is also sick. These are demented crimes. Ladies and gents, I'm more in agreement with the word logical. To be logical seems to be more so valuable than to persuade some. Also, the meaning of logical, to expect because of what has gone before, what has happened in prior arrangements, prior times, based on or using logic. The definition of logic, correct reasoning, or the science of what is expected by the working of cause and effect. The working of cause and effect. Today and throughout this trial, you'll see that the cause does not hold.
You're covering up the prosecutor's facial expressions with the little baker.
Oh my God, the side eye.
The side eye is great.
Holy shit, she wants to cut him.
I can just say that something else is covering their face, but so I'll just keep the smiling baker.
Oh, and the bald guy she looks like
Yeah.
My gosh, she's got the Susan Opper face. I love it. Or Sue. She's not.
And Officer McChunk's in the background. He's ready to pounce.
Yeah.
I need one takedown this year. I'm just saying, Daryl said he had shock shackles. That turned out to be a lie. I didn't get that for Christmas. So I'm going to need someone to just, sidearm.
But is anyone an English teacher in chat that can say, did he use the correct terms about the words he's trying to explain? And maybe he'll get to the case at some point, but we'll never know. Let's see.
The effect it should. The alleged cause does not hold the effect it should. I'm sure a lot of you are logical human beings. I myself base my life on being logical, being honest, being value to logic and honesty. It's my favorite pastime, present and future. Today I ask that those of you here be logical, not just the jurors, who have the ability to judge this situation, but everybody. Logical as I would rather people be. Today I will show you a lot of things that are not logical. Throughout this trial, I will show you a lot of things that are not logical. Persuasion is not logical. I myself, personally, I promise not to attempt to persuade you,
Well, that's good.
Okay.
nor will I manipulate you.
Okay.
I do not find pleasure in doing such.
Well, I'm glad you wouldn't feel good if you did.
As stated yesterday, I'm a pro se defendant. I'm held to the same standards as any attorney here today. I do not expect you to feel sorry for me because I'm a pro se defendant. I expect you to take it at what you value it as, along with agreeing with law, taking the law into consideration. They say an opening statement is made to acquaint the finder of facts with yourself or with the claims and what you intend to prove. That's exactly what I do today. Myself, I would say proof is a rare thing to come by these days. No one has absolute proof except for, per se, you have these cameras here in this room today, and I can prove that you are here today. There's a lot of claims placed forth that do not have an effect that coincides with them. I intend to show and prove you that today and throughout this trial. What I also want to prove you are blatant lies. Incredible and impossible happenings. We all know what incredible and impossible means. Impossible means not possible. Credible means it's not credible.
Good for you. Oh.
I also intend to prove you.
Menza, right there. Just.
He seems like a kind of a guy only a mom can love.
Yeah.
And I know we have to wait for the evidence in this case, but
Exactly, Wendy.
opening statements normally have something to do with the case at hand.
Well, I want to see, did they shave his head? Like, did they give him the cone of shame? Did he have lice? I need to know the entire story of why he
Well,
doesn't have
in his
dreadlocks anymore, I'm guessing.
And his picture on Law and Crime or whatever it was, like he was just had more hair in the front. He's a lot now. Probably because of all the stress.
I don't think he unalived his mother. Well, DNA, it can happen in a lot of ways. And if you don't see the DNA, is it there? Like the cameras in court, because that's the only way you can prove something is real is if you can see it.
Yeah, the fact that he didn't film his crime means it never happened.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Oh.
But I'll promise he won't persuade me and I won't feel sorry for him.
But I will try to smile and light up his soul.
Light up his soul. God, what a douchebag.
Yeah, I'm just happy that he's using the right words because I'm not, because I could use something.
Oh, this is going to be a day drinking day if this continues in this fashion.
Well, I can't do anything because behind my cover of the cover is another cover. So
I will say, Dragon Lady lawyer, side eye, top notch.
Right now, she's just sitting there thinking, "Stop."
The bald guy is hilarious. So he
I know,
whips that head around. It's like he was like me. That's me. I'm like, what?
Yeah, my face would be all caps.
Yeah.
Happy birthday again, Dennis. Have a good day.
Yeah, happy birthday, Dennis.
Happy birthday.
So, but let's get back to this impressive student of law.
Improper procedure, coincidences. Throughout this trial, you'll see some of the most major coincidences you have ever seen in your lives. And they're established, and I'm sure some of the witnesses will attest to them. There are major coincidences in this case. As stated, I talked about logical. I intend to show you that these things do not follow the definition of logic. I will show you what coercion, manipulation, and deceit is. I will show certain persons think it is absolutely funny to be vindictive, to lie, to place forth claims, and that would be from the horse's mouth. I will prove to you reason.
Is he going to call a horse to the stand? I hope he's going to call a horse to the stand. Hey, Gigi, welcome. Yeah, the most major coincidences you'll ever seen will be in this this case. I already like this way more than I like the Texas case.
Yeah. It doesn't make me want to punch everybody. I mean, just him, but.
But again, I like falling off a 12-story building more than the Texas case.
Anything's better than that.
For false testimony from some who may or may not testify throughout this adventure. I'll show you how other law enforcement think these events that are alleged to have happened are quite odd.
Sorry, you will hear testimony from people who might or might not testify in this case. How?
What did he just say?
Didn't he say that you will hear testimony from people who might or might not testify in this trial?
Either they are or they aren't.
You won't hear it if they don't.
You won't hear, yeah. You won't hear them if they don't.
I'm not a smart person, but I think if they don't testify, you won't hear testimony from them. Of course, if it's from the grave or something like that, but
Oh my
this
God.
is so much. Why didn't we do this yesterday?
I don't know.
Texas trial had me seeing some kind of lights, and I was walking right through them to them.
Themselves, stating such in an indirect way. That is law enforcement, and I intend to prove that to you. I will any of the claims and things placed forth by all here today, witnesses and the claimant herself, just do not add up or coincide with each other. The prosecution intends to prove to those of you that a 77-year-old woman has been brutally beat, battered, sexually assaulted is the proper pronunciation or the proper usage, term usage in trials. They intend to prove to you that a 77-year-old woman was home invaded, kidnapped, hijacked.
Go back 5 seconds. Okay,
Sorry?
you'll have to pause and go back 5 seconds and take down the comment. The side eye, this lady, you can't really see it too much, but you get a great look. Okay, he's gonna say something about the proper pronunciation, and she is gonna. Baldy is gonna have to hold her back.
Let's do it.
In trials, they intend to prove to you that a 77-year-old woman was home invaded, kidnapped, hijacked, thrown downstairs at 77 years old. Thrown downstairs. Some of you are young. If you were throwing.
Do I have to go back further?
No, maybe it might have been. She's just making all the faces, and I love it.
Downstairs, what would that damage do to you?
They're saying more. They're lying more.
Thrown downstairs in a violent manner.
I think it's when he said something about
77 witnesses enforcement, and I intend to prove that to you. I will any of the claims and things placed forth by all here today, witnesses and the claimant herself, just do not add up or coincide with each other.
Oh, the slow blink.
The prosecution intends to prove to those of you that a 77-year-old woman has been brutally beat, battered, sexually assaulted is the proper pronunciation or the proper term usage in trials. They intend to prove to you that a 77-year-old woman was home invaded, kidnapped, hijacked, thrown downstairs at 77 years old. Thrown downstairs.
Y'all,
was real loud.
maybe you shouldn't be
Some of
going
you are
into what
young.
he did to her.
If you were thrown downstairs, what would that damage do to you? Thrown downstairs in a violent manner. The prosecution intends to prove to you that a 77-year-old woman was thrown downstairs
I really tried to follow the
in a
Texas
violent
case.
manner.
Try and
All these
finish it,
claims are violent.
because it's important
They're
to
sick.
finish.
They're demented.
I hear that. But
All of these being brutal, violent,
I know Sal is
heinous.
going to pick it up on Saturday, so I thought
Those are the
just keep you
titles of
ladies
alleged
warm for him.
claims the judge has placed forth, as Ms. Keck has also stated, what I've just relayed to you, and more. Some of these descriptions you will hear throughout this trial.
He's not using the subset
I aim to present to you, those of you here today, and I am to present to those of you from the mouth who spoke them, these claims, and that they are not true. What's better than the person who spoke them? Attorney here, Mr. Jones
I
and Ms.
took
Keck,
off the
I
audio
believe they
boost. I
both
hope it
have great
helps.
intentions. I'm sure they do. However, they're here to attest to something they do not know themselves. They do not
I
have
only follow this
full and
because of EU.
100% proof of. They're just doing their jobs. I don't expect you to hold it against them.
We haven't
I don't
heard that
expect
he's a
you to be
land
fair.
captain yet.
I spoke of at the beginning, this being very hard for me. Obviously it is. I'm the defendant here today. It's my life in jeopardy. It's my life on the line. Not only is it hard for me, I spoke of it being hard for, well, everybody here. I'm sure those of you in the jury today do not want to hear the sickening claims or have to go through this. All we can do is take what we have and place weight on it from our own views. Mainly you people here today, you jurors. Today you will be presented what some call evidence. Some of these presentations are very odd and would lead you to say, guilty, he's guilty. These are what I spoke of when I said I'd show you coincidences. Those coincidences are by far some of the biggest coincidences one will ever see in a lifetime. Most never seeing such. Never having the chance to. Why? Because there are coincidences that are extremely rare. There are things that just don't happen. A believer of coincidences is what I intend to make you throughout this trial. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, devious crimes, they are what I myself would call the worst, the very worst. I think they're
You can
worse than
become a
murder.
defense expert or state
That's
expert.
my point of view. As if they were true also. I do not mean to offend anyone here today. However, they simply are not true. My little brother used to run to mother
This
and
is a
say,
good one.
Mom, BB hit me. BB was my sister. Used to say, BB hit me. Mom would say, well, my lovely young man, where are the marks to prove such?
Oh my God.
Well,
Mom
Yeah,
would
that's
say,
what all
Mom,
moms say.
show me the marks. He could not show any marks. Mother would say, I can't tell where the marks are. True
Bald
story.
lawyer.
Come to find out,
What does this have to do with anything?
my brother only had the remote taken from him. Scooby-Doo was his favorite. He would watch it end on end for hours. During them times when my brother would make them claims, we would all come to find out in the end that he had just simply walked away from the TV. Sis picked up the remote and he wanted the TV back. The tells he was telling, you will see that today here and throughout this trial, there are major tales told. Tales that are tall, simply very tall tales.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing.
Then,
But
in reference to my brother.
Tall's told. He doesn't know how to speak.
Okay. He's trying to sound smart. He's
Yeah, I
a mid to low wit trying to sound smart. So he's like, but my mother said, "Wherefore art thou bruises, son?"
My lovely
Where are
son.
these? Where are such bruises, son? That's no one talks like that.
No one talks like that unless they're an affected prick or a midwit trying to sound like an affected prick. I mean, I love you all. I hope you don't talk like
Jungmin, if you're thinking about the one where he's calling the judge a not so nice name, yeah, I saw parts of that. He's doing really well, and but again, true story.
When he says true story, I'm like, no.
Normally, when I tell a tall tale, and will be the tallest of tales told, I often always reminiscent when mother told my dear sister, sweet sister of mine, doth brother doth usually not to the truth too close stayeth. And I said, but mother dear, why dost thou say that I doth not true speak? True story. That was a true story that was told at my household many a
Oh
time.
my god.
Lack of marks gave my mother reasonable doubt. Today, I intend to prove an extreme amount of reasonable doubt. Throughout this trial, I will prove extreme amount of unreasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt, they say, is any idea or condition that interferes with a person.
Grounds.
All right. The jury is left to
Grounds.
find reasonable doubt on their own.
What are grounds? My life is complete.
Jury, throughout this week, there will be all kinds of words placed forth, strong words, educated words, words some of us may not understand. There will be displays. There will be what many call evidence, and there will be testimonies. I will show you, and if you may, prove to you how things are not as they say, not as they seem, how most just are not possible, also known as impossible. As I stated earlier, I intend to be logical.
Oh, okay.
I will do just that. I humbly ask that you bear with me throughout this process, bear with all of us, those of the court, those of the prosecution, and everybody. Recesses, intermissions, just please bear with us and be honest,
Oh my god.
as I'm sure you all can be, and be fair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones, Mrs. Keck, are you prepared to call your first witness? We are.
Well,
I
That
forgot
went
how
well for
fun
him.
cases can be. I no longer have. I have no longer the willeth of living unhaved. True story.
Oh my God, oh, Lord. Alleged evidence. What some people call evidence. Well, what do you call it, sir? I mean, did the entire state of
But
gosh,
it would be many words and the bad words. And please hang around in breaks.
Oh God.
oh my god.
Yeah, thank you for all 51 people, 51 person. This guy broke at me with his eloquently English.
You're gonna speak like that from now on.
Well, I think we figured out your merch.
Yeah, that's
Not possible equals impossible.
exactly.
End of statement.
And again, thank you all for showing up to watch us rewatch this trial, because we have been slogging through Texas hell, and right now it looks like Illinois is coming in to save us. But everyone, how do we feel his opening statement go? We always have to remember, right now, he is innocent. did he sway the scale more in the way of innocent, or did he raise some doubt with his mishandling of the English vocabulary? His mother, dear mother, used to always say,
Dear mother.
"My son, thus taketh the booklet of the bookcase, doth thou can readeth the biggest of the worthest, because someday you might be in trials, and in those trials doth might be the greatest of coincidences.
Oh my god.
Oh
Just
my god.
his mother's
You
like,
pick in your spare time." True story.
enough.
True story.
True story. You gotta end it with true story all the time.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad that he told us not to feel sorry for him because I was doing a good job of that before, but now that I have permission, uh, assignment accepted.
Yeah. And again, we're not gonna go through all of this. I know Nicholas is starting a stream at. Oh, when is Nicholas's stream coming up?
I think it's at 4. I think Salvador's
Sal's
taking.
picking it up. Yeah.
Yeah, but 4. Then I have to think.
That's going to be real early for you, I thought, in the morning.
No, 4 in the morning.
No, I just thought the later it gets in the day for us, the earlier
Yeah,
in the morning it is.
4. That's like 10 o'clock. Why so late?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Sal's picking it up at 4:30. He said Eastern.
Because he's
Okay,
got
because
to work.
Nicholas normally goes on at like 7:30 my time. That would be 11:30 your time.
I think he had a
Yeah.
family thing, so
Yeah.
Sal is.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But 4:30 won't be 7:30. We're talking.
You're all
Sorry.
right.
Todayeth Salvador of the Dali doth covereth for Nicholas of the Swede. He wouldn't be streaming it at trials on his YouTube channel. Use your logic. Mother always said. True story.
Always.
Let's get to the first witness. This will suck all the air out of the room because this is the husband.
Your Honor, if you do so, please. People would call Tim Schmidt to the stand.
Yeah, that's what I figured. But
Bring in Tim Schmidt.
Nicholas is normally going earlier. But we'll do about an hour and a half more of this. Come on.
Clerk, raise your right hand. All right, Mr. Jones, when you're ready with your questions.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you please tell us your name?
My name is Timothy G. Schmidt.
Mr. Schmidt, how old are you?
I'm 66 years old.
Mr. Schmidt, where
Oh,
do
she
you
was a
currently
cougar.
live?
I was
4300 North Bottom Road.
Or man.
Mr. Schmidt,
Woman.
were you married at one point?
Yes.
Sorry, you are both really, really low.
How are you? So
Well, I'm
Well,
an
I
average
pulled mine
height for a
down.
Danish guy. I'm sorry to say.
I could barely hear
Let's
most
see.
too. So
Well,
I
I
have
pulled mine down because
automatically
the other mic
adjusted.
is so loud, but
Now I can hear you, and
oh, awesome.
better.
better. So, but we're not the important part of this trial. The important. Yeah, I know, but I have this this automatic stuff set up. Normally, it evens out, but it could be stupid sometimes. I'll try to take and not this one. This one. I put it at 120. Let's see how much that helps.
Oh, God.
I hope it's for everyone. I don't know if I have to put yours on individual or. It is
Well,
my.
everybody's drums out. It's fine.
I'm gonna put you at 120 to Mo.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna put Jamie on 100. No, not automatically. Stuff like that. Everyone will keep it rolling a bit, and then we're probably going to talk some more, and hopefully the audio evens out.
Who were you married to?
I was married to Christine Lohman,
How long were you and Miss Lohman married?
a little over 2 years.
Were you together longer than that?
Yes, 36 years.
So you're together for 36 years and married for 2 years.
Yes.
I want to talk to you a little bit about Tina. First, I'm going to hand you what's been marked as People's Exhibit 77. Do you recognize that person?
Yes, that was my wife, Christine Lohman.
Ron, we'd ask People's Exhibit 77 be introduced as evidence and published to the jury.
Mr. Yohn, any objection?
No.
Request is granted. We will admit People's Exhibit 77 without objection. You may publish to the jury.
Oh, she's so
Did Tina have
sweet.
children?
Yes,
How many
That sassy
children did she
hair.
have?
she had 4 children.
Did she have 14 grandkids
Yes,
and 17 great-grandchildren?
and probably more. Yeah.
Was Christina big on the holidays?
Yes, she was.
Like to buy Christmas presents?
She loved Christmas.
Love Christmas. And you guys lived together at 4300 North Bottom Road here in Quincy, is that right?
Yes.
I want to talk to you about the night of November 9th, 2020, okay? That night or that morning, did you go to work?
Yes.
Where do you work?
I own American Builders Supply.
Let me talk about that for a second. Did Tina work with you at American Builders Supply?
Yes, she did.
You guys ran that business together
Yes.
for the 38 years that you guys were together?
She was there not quite 38 years. She was there. I think she came on in 1993. So, but quite a while.
Not quite.
Quite a while.
Okay. You left work that morning, or
Yes.
left for work that morning. Where did you go after work? What time did you leave work?
I left work sometime after 5 o'clock, and I went to Farm and Home. It was just before deer season, and I like to hunt deer, so I went over looking to see if there was anything I wanted to get before season opened up.
Get ready for deer hunting.
Getting ready for deer hunting, yes.
How long were you there?
I'd say probably, I guess, a half hour, 40 minutes or something.
And you went home after that?
Yes,
Got home around 6 p.m., give or take?
yes.
It was November 9th, 6 p.m. Was the sun up? Was the sun down? Tell me what.
Dark.
When you got home around 6 p.m. And you pulled up
All
to
right, object. Leading.
All right, this is foundational purposes, so I will overrule that objection.
when you got home around 6 p.m., did you notice anything unusual about your house?
I noticed that the garage door was open. There were some items on the floor in the garage. The car was gone. There were some tire marks in the yard.
So I'm going to hand you, or have the bailiff hand you, some photographs as we go through your testimony. And for the record, it's going to be People's 35 through 50 inclusive, and then People's Exhibit 80 and 90. And I'm going to ask you to look through those and tell me when you've had a chance to look through those. Get a chance to go through all those?
Yes.
In a general sense, are those photographs of the exterior and interior of your house, your residence at 4300 North Bottom Road? Is that what they generally are?
Yes.
And do those photographs show what you saw?
Yeah, let's, if anyone came here to see the Texas trial, I couldn't wonder why anyone would do that, but the jury was discharged, jury was discharged because of this illness we can't mention on YouTube. They will assume the trial at 1 p.m. Texas time, so 2, 3, 4 o'clock. And nothing happened again today, and they will be starting out cross-examination, the cross-examination of an expert who will be saying that because of his age and his education level, he should have life imprisonment because he won't be a danger to society, so he shouldn't have the DP. And yeah, the alternate was doxed by the judge, but it was something like Manuel Garcia or something like that, so there's probably more than one of those around. I'm not sure.
On November 9th, 2021, when you were in the residence and as you were going into the residence?
Yes.
Your Honor, we'd ask that those exhibits be introduced into evidence and leave given to publish them during the course of the rest of the court.
No, it's the other way around, that if you have a certain education level and a certain age, you're not likely to kill somebody in prison or do stupid stuff in prison. That's the reason he should have life instead of death.
Questioning.
Mr. Yohn, any objection?
Excuse me, what exhibits were them, Your Honor? 80, 81, and the ones of the home?
35 through 50, then 80 and 81.
No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibits will be admitted without objection and statement published.
Up on the screen is People's Exhibit 35, and actually you have a monitor there. It should be on that monitor as well. Can you tell us what this is?
That's my home.
And you talked about the garage door. Is this the garage door that you were talking about?
Yes.
And you said when you got there, the garage door was open. Is that what we see here?
Yes.
And you said there were some things lying on the floor.
Yes.
And there wasn't a car in the garage. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Why did the fact that there wasn't a car in the garage and the garage door being open at 6 p.m. at night trouble you, concern you?
Well, my wife Tina drove the car, the Toyota Avalon, that would normally be parked there, and of course the car was gone. And then I noticed the door was kicked open.
And we'll get to that in a minute. You said there was also some tire marks. Can you tell me where you saw those tire marks?
They were there by the bush there to the right of the garage.
We'll put up on the screen People's Exhibit 36. Are these the tire marks that you're talking about?
Yes.
And had those tire marks been in that part of the yard when you left that morning?
No.
You told us that you also noticed that the door in the garage was broken. Is that right?
Yes.
Go on to the next slide. Here on the screen, we have People's Exhibit 37. You talked about these items lying on the floor. Let's talk about those first. The items on the floor, was that unusual? Was that what the garage looked like when you left that morning?
No.
Tell us what was different.
Well, the car would have been there, and those items there on the floor of the garage there would not have been there. The car would have been there.
Also in your garage, did you have some power tools?
Yes.
Specifically, did you have a chainsaw and a hedge trimmer?
Yes.
Was the chainsaw and hedge trimmer in that garage when you left that morning.
Yes.
When you came that night at 6 p.m., was the chainsaw and the hedge trimmer in that garage?
No.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as People's Exhibit 15. Do you recognize that?
That's my chainsaw.
Chainsaw that was not in that garage
Yes,
when you got there on November 9th at 6 p.m.
that's correct.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as People's Exhibit 16. Do you recognize that?
That's my hedge trimmer.
The hedge trimmer that was in that garage when you left that morning and
Yes.
was gone that night.
The guy he's talking to here is an attorney that's there to help him. So he's not like Brooks, totally in the deep end of the pool. There's somebody there to advise him or help him out. So it probably won't get just as crazy as the Brooks trial. I'm not sure we're going to see any box faults in this trial.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. This is an immaculate garage.
You also told us that there was a car missing from the garage. It was Tina's car.
Yes.
Can you tell me what make and model that car was?
It was a 2018 Toyota Avalon.
What color was it?
It was white.
And do you know the license plate for that? If you don't, that's fine. I just don't.
It's ABS for American Builders Supply, and I don't remember the numbers on it.
But the first 3 letters were ABS, and then there was a number after.
Yes.
Yeah, he's doing really well until
Now,
now.
you told us that when you came into the garage, you noticed that a door had been kicked in. Is this the door that you're talking about?
Yes.
And is this People's 38 is up on the screen now? We're looking at a view of that door.
Yes.
Looks like there's some damage by the lock and by the handle. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Also looks like there's some footprints on the door.
Yes.
Was that door damaged like that when you left that morning for work?
No.
Were the footprints on the door when you left that morning for work?
No.
Next slide. People's Exhibit 39, kind of an angle view of that same door. Is that right, sir?
Yes.
Again, was the door damaged at the deadbolt and the handle like that?
No.
And if we look behind the door, it looks like there's a hole in the drywall where the door's been forced open.
That was not there.
Next slide, please. People's Exhibit 40, a close-up of that door showing how violently it was kicked open. Was it like that morning when you left?
No.
It was like that when you came home at 6 p.m.
Yes.
Asked and answered.
When you came inside and you walked through that door, you walked through the garage that we just saw, and you walked through that damaged door. Did you see someone sitting on the floor?
I saw my wife sitting on the floor in tears.
Tell me about that. You said she was in tears. Was she crying?
She was crying, and she told me that they raped her.
Objection, Your Honor.
Grounds
Testimonial.
What?
overruled.
You can say hearsay, not
When
testimonial.
you heard that from your wife, who you've been with for 38 years, did you notice anything sitting on the floor
No
in
spoilers.
the area around her?
Well, she was sitting on a, I guess it was a blanket or a quilt.
And did you notice anything about that quilt?
There was blood on it.
Yeah, I don't get that one either.
Up on the screen.
Yeah,
is
he's
Exhibit
testifying, so
41.
it's his
If we
testimony. You can say hearsay.
Orientate ourselves. That door that you walked in, where would it be in relationship to this photograph?
Where that walker is, it would be to the north of that. Yes.
She was using a
So
walker.
if we're facing the picture, you're basically walking in from the left side of the picture in, fair to say?
Yes.
And you said that you saw your wife, Tina, sitting on the floor on a quilt. Is that the area that you saw her?
Yes, they're in front of that green chair, yes.
Did you also notice a spray can and a knife on the floor?
Yes.
And we can see that spray can and that knife on the floor.
Yes.
You could argue he's leading him by pointing to those items.
Yes.
People's Exhibit 42, a close-up view of
Yeah.
that blanket.
This case stopped being
some blood
funny right now.
stains, and the can, correct?
Yes.
People's 43. Again, I'm sorry, 80. I apologize, it's people's 80, the can, and again, blood stains in the blanket.
Yes.
I want to talk about that spray can, that 409 carpet cleaner spray can. Was that on the floor when you left at 6 o'clock that morning?
No.
People's 81.
She was 77 years old, so she
Blood
probably was
on the floor.
had problem
That-
walking.
was this blood that
I
was
don't
coming
think
from
she's
your
disabled.
wife?
Yes.
And what part of her body was it coming from?
It came from it came from underneath her.
Lower regions of her body,
Her lower
specifically
region.
her genital region.
Yes.
People's 43. Can you tell us what we're looking at here?
That is a railroad spike that was converted into a knife.
Did that knife belong to you and Tina?
It belonged to me, yes.
Was it stored on the floor like that?
No, it was stored in a drawer.
Was it on the floor when you left that morning?
No.
Next slide, please. People's 44. Just a close-up view of that same.
I live
People's 45.
near some old people. They use walkers
Close-up view of the spray
because
can.
different
And
reasons.
the
So
next slide.
when you
46.
get older, you could use some of them,
It's a
but
close-up
you
view
could call
of
them
the spray
being disabled. Is it carpet cleaner or what is this?
Yeah, it's carpet cleaner,
You told us you walked in.
like a spray can,
After
and
you
then
saw
you could vacuum it up.
You heard Tina say that they raped me. Explained her condition. She was crying. She appeared to be emotional to you,
Yes, she did.
sobbing.
Yes.
Did she tell you that she was worried they were going to come back?
Yes, she did.
Because of that, what did you do?
I went into the bedroom and I got a handgun.
And what did you do with that gun?
I brought the gun out and I gave it to Tina. And then I got my phone and I called 911.
After you called 911, did you ask Tina what had happened to her?
Yes.
And did she tell you what had happened to her?
She said they raped me.
And did she tell you how the rape started?
She told me that she was driving home on Cook's Lane and she got to the front or Bonanzinga in Cook's Lane and the lights were not on in the car. And she stopped there at the stop sign and there was a man came and went to help her to turn the lights on, and he got in the car with her and drove off with her.
In the car.
Yes, in the car.
Did she want to go with him?
No.
After the man got in the car and took off with her, did Tina tell you where they went?
She said they went up into the bottoms, the north bottoms,
And did she tell you while they were in that area, the North Bottoms, what the man made her do to her top?
Yes.
What did Tina say that the man made her do to her top?
She said that he made her take her top off.
And did she tell you that he made her take her top off so that he could touch her breast?
Yes.
After this man did that to her, did Tina say that the man forced her to perform oral sex on him?
Yes.
Did Tina tell you what she thought was going to happen to her?
She told me that she thought that they were going to kill her.
Because she was worried they were going to kill her, what did she say to them?
She told me that she told them that she had some jewelry up at the house and some money.
Now, at some point, did she also tell you that the male had made a threat to her about what would happen if her husband was home?
She said, he said that if your husband's there, I'm going to kill you both.
Tina then told you that he went to the house.
Yes.
And when they got to the
Yeah.
house, what did Tina say happened in the garage?
She said that the male and there was a female there.
Hello,
That
Jonathan.
they got
Welcome.
into an argument.
And during the argument, Tina was able to get away.
Tina went into the house and she locked the door.
No spoilers.
When she locked the door, what did she say the male did?
Well, she went into the bedroom on the east side of the house and went to look for the handgun. But the handgun I had moved from the nightstand because we had grandchildren up there.
Oh.
And I was afraid one of those grandchildren were going to get a hold of that gun. So I put it up high where they couldn't get to it.
She couldn't find the gun.
She couldn't find the gun.
What did the male do to the door?
The male kicked the door in.
And after the male kicked the door in, what did Tina say happened next?
She said, she told him where the jewelry was. It was in a chest of drawers there in the bedroom.
At least lock the doors.
Up on the screen, we have People's 48, which then introduced as evidence. Told us that Tina had jewelry in the chest of drawers. Is this where that chest of drawers was at Tina's jewelry?
Yes.
Was that what the chest of drawers looked like when you were there at 6 o'clock that morning before you
No.
left for work?
No.
And when you were in the home, was there jewelry missing from the house?
No.
There was no jewelry missing?
No.
I apologize. At 6
Then
o'clock
you're
when
on
you
the
got
right
back after
channel.
you had talked to Tina, was there jewelry missing then?
Yes. Yes, it was.
After Tina told this person about the jewelry, did Tina say that person then threw her down some stairs to the basement?
Yes.
And tell me what Tina said about the basement.
She told him that there was a safe down the basement.
Do you in fact have a safe in the basement?
Yes.
What did Tina say happened with the safe in the basement?
They went to the safe to the basement and there's a board that covers the face of it. And that was moved out of the way. And Tina didn't know the combination to it. So the male went to
Try to open the
try to open it up with the knob on the safe.
And when he tried to open it up with the knob on the safe and he wasn't able to get into it, what did Tina say to him?
She said that the safe was wired to the police department, and now the police are going to be coming.
People's Exhibit 49, is this your basement?
Yes.
And you talked about, we see a gray door here. Is that the safe?
Yes,
You talked about a white cover. Is that what you see here?
yes.
Was the white cover on that safe when you left that morning?
It was in front of the door on the safe, yes.
And again, here we see a different angle of that same door. That's the safe you're talking about, right?
Yes,
The knob there, the handle's there.
yes.
Probably.
After Tina told the male that the safe was wired to the police and the police were coming, did Tina say that the man took her back upstairs?
Yes.
And when he took her back upstairs, what did she say occurred upstairs by that chair?
She said he raped her.
You mentioned that she shared with you that there was a male and a female in the house.
Yes.
Did she talk to you about the female and specifically that knife that we saw?
She talked about the female and how the female had threatened to kill her with that knife.
He could be, if she's taking the stand, he has the right to cross-examine her.
Mm-hmm.
He probably will if he's
Tina went to
prosaic.
bring that knife,
Yes.
and maybe a week later she went to see her OBGYN, Dr. Ada Kabuma. Is that right?
Yes.
And you were with Tina pretty much every day from November 9th to when she passed away on December 12th.
Yes.
Those that last month of her life, was she in pain?
Yes, she was.
She hurt from the injuries that she suffered?
Yes, she did.
Did you see bruises to her?
Yeah. This is
I saw some bruises, and she hurt a lot
taste.
on her tailbone.
It's hard for her to sit,
Yes.
hard for her to stand.
Yes.
Was she having difficulty?
Objection, Your Honor.
Grounds?
Testimonial. The
Was she having difficulty
called
eating or
leading.
drinking because of the burns in her mouth?
Yes.
Is it fair to say she was in pain until she died?
Yes, she was.
The prosecutor is leading him all the way through it, but he doesn't know how to object the right way. So
You know, I'm struggling to be mad at him.
Just if
for
I have a
leading.
moment, we're going to move on to some.
yeah, it's with this trial, it's perfectly fine, especially with the spouse. She was alive, and but she died a few months later, and they can't link these two things together. So he's not on the hook for that part of it. But as they said in the open statement, it broke her heart, and she died from that. But you can't really charge him because there's no correlation between the rape and her death. Yeah, well, I don't know how many cases you have followed, but most of the time we are always wondering, why did you do that? But still, he's innocent until proven guilty. This is just the state walking this witness through his testimony. We'll have to see what he says in say in his cross-examination of him. Maybe something different comes out, but it's been a tough one, and I have to applaud him for being this calm. Let's see if it continues. Well, I'm not sure he can do that, because then he would be doing the case for him. It's like in the Brooks case where the judge couldn't tell him what he was doing wrong, because then it wouldn't be his defense. Yeah, 2 grounds so far. Oh, she died a month later. The Texas Border Patrol trial is on break because one of the jurors got the disease we can't mention on YouTube. So they have to bring in an alternate. The alternate was doxed by the judge on live camera just for S and giggles. They will be starting up at 1 p.m. Texas time, so around 4 or 5 in the afternoon, if we know this judge correctly. Today primarily be going through spreadsheets that proves that because of his age and his education level, he won't be a menace to society in prison. That trial had me feeling like the little kid in Poltergeist going in through the light, even though someone was sitting outside the television telling me not to go into the light. So we picked up this Bradley Yohn case. It's from Tuesday, what we're watching today. We won't go through all of it because it's getting late here. I'll probably go for about an hour more. Let's see how it fits into this testimony. And then we'll keep a tab on the Texas case. And if there's a verdict or anything interesting happening, I'll jump on, or else maybe sweet talk Jamie, send her $5 for her last fund and she can pull it up on Discord. She loves that Texas case. She's so sad we're not following that right now. If any of my wrenches has the link to Jamie's Cash App, please consider giving her a little help to get those luscious lashes, because she does all the trials with me, David, Nicholas, Mo, Sal, everyone.
Yes.
And she's just the best because she keeps us sane. Everyone thinks that it's us that do this. No, it's Jamie. She's the one that keeps this show going. So if you can spare $1 or you would like to contribute anything, please contribute to Jamie's Lash Fund, because
Yes.
she's the true star of the internet.
Oh
Without her, this case wouldn't happen. And we all appreciate you, Jamie. You have to know that.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
And I won't make any videos about your upcoming YouTube channel. Yeah, it sounds like a rough trial, but let's see. You have she died the 12th of December, just before Christmas. I think he's been getting ready for this, but let's see if he keeps his calm. We're just started.
I would have been doing agility training because I'm going to get at least one, allegedly. Just one in.
Yeah.
And my trainer says, "What are you doing?" Be like, agility, fastness.
Well, my community is either the Baker's Angels or the Muffin Tops. Or Baker's Buns.
Or Baker's.
Oh, you're going into 3D printing. Oh. We meet so many interesting people doing this internet thing. But most of all, we all met Jamie, the true star of the show. So if you could spare $1, maybe $2, please do.
I'm on.
No, Jamie, it's true. It's not. I'm not making fun of you or anything. I'm truly happy that I met you, because you make every boring day sitting here in my chair a little bit more bearable.
You just
encouraged me.
Like I'm on one of those like commercials where if you could just spare pennies a day.
Well, you don't have the Sarah McLachlan in the background yet.
We need
Feral.
some music, some sad music.
I'll be going to Africa and saying, for just $2 a day, Jamie's lashes could be this beautiful.
That's what I was thinking. Just for $2 a day, guys.
But I don't grift because I'm not monetized, and I know when you're on YouTube you're supposed to grift a lot. So I'll grift for Jamie, because Jamie, she's just so kind and she never asks for anything other than to spend her time with us. So please, everyone, if you would ever, please like and subscribe to me and Mo. We have some channels, but if you could spare $1, please think about Jamie.
That's what I want. I want you to support my buddies.
Yeah, and
that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was nice.
I can do that.
Nice little speech.
Right,
you keep going though. I mean, if you really want.
Truth be told, I never watched Seinfeld. I don't get his humor.
Yeah, it was always just like, when is Simpsons coming on?
Oh,
Oh,
Sign-
Mo has a Cash
I-
App too, so
Oh.
you can spoil her
Yes,
too.
if you want to donate to the cat tree, because my cats are all what we like to call obese, they have torn this one up and it's probably going to fall soon. So that's what I will be grifting for next.
Cat
And
treat.
if you can't spare a cent, you can always spare a like or a subscription over at Mo. She
Yes.
has some great
Yeah.
content. And she's also a star because she keeps up with all my shenanigans.
True.
It does.
So, but let's get back to the really, really not fun part.
Physical exhibits.
Oh no, is he gonna make them look at them?
Judge, I apologize. We're going to do
Bruises and
photos first, and then
stuff.
we'll do the physical exhibits.
You're missing out. It's a great show.
Everyone says that, but I didn't really get it.
For the record, I'm having the bailiff bring up people's 50 and 51. Tell me when you have a chance to look at those. Yes. Do those photographs show that white Toyota Avalon that you, I'm sorry, 51 and 52, I apologize, I misspoke, people's 51 and 52. Do those show that white Toyota Avalon that
Yes,
belonged to Tina?
yes. It belongs to American Builder Supply.
I apologize. Company car that she drove.
Yes.
Your Honor, we'd ask that people's 51 and 52 be introduced and published to the jury.
Any objection?
No, sir.
All right. 51 and 52 are admitted without objection, may be published.
It's at the front of the car, and then the license plate, like we talked about, ABS
Yes.
1006.
Yes.
And people's 52. Back of the car, same license plate.
Yes.
We're going to have the bailiff hand you people's 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, and 63. We had a chance to look at those.
Yes.
Let's start with People's Exhibit 57. People's Exhibit 57, do you recognize that photograph? Do you recognize what's in that photograph? I'm going to ask you about it there on the photograph you've got in hand.
Okay, hang on here. Just hang on. Okay, yes,
Do you recognize that watch and bracelet?
yes.
And who does that watch and bracelet belong to?
They belong to Tina.
Your Honor, we'd ask that People's Exhibit 57 be introduced into evidence and published.
Any objection? Absolutely not, Your Honor. People's Exhibit 57 is admitted without objection and may be published.
This watch and this bracelet belong to your wife, Tina.
Yes,
Have you seen her wear that watch and that bracelet on multiple occasions?
yes.
Y'all, I'm just telling you, if he
You
starts
could look at the
crying,
next
I'm
picture,
gonna cry.
people's 58.
It
Did
is what
this
it
stupid
is.
guy wear the jewelry? Yeah, he did.
In that
It's
picture,
bizarre.
Yeah,
there
because
is a
He's a
watch and a pin.
DF.
Do you see that pin in the middle of the picture?
dumb F.
Yes,
Do you recognize that watch and pin?
yes.
Douche canoe.
Your Honor, we'd ask that People's 58 be admitted into evidence and published to the jury.
Any objection? Absolutely not, Your Honor. All right, no objection. People's Exhibit 58 will be admitted and may be published to the jury.
That watch,
Yes,
had you seen Tina wear that watch?
yes.
That pin, can you tell me about that pin? How do you recognize that pin?
That's
If anybody has ever watched Star Trek before,
I've seen Star Trek.
well, we bought that at the Star Trek display or out at the Las Vegas Hilton in I don't remember what year it was.
They were
The
Trekkies
shape on that
too.
is a Star Trek pin.
Yes,
It's the badge that the officers wear on their uniform.
but it's a
Yes.
bling bling
And you
badge.
and Tina were Star Trek fans?
we were Star Trek fans.
Oh, they were little Trekkies. That's so cute.
Baker.
Can you look at the next picture?
My
People's
neutral
Exhibit
mode
59?
is dying here.
Yeah,
I'm
And,
trying. I'm really trying.
and wearing a blinged out ladies watch. I don't like this guy.
And her purse. Dude was wearing her purse. I'm sure it is all a tall tale coincidence and the state is against him, but I will have to see how that unfolds.
We have to see what he has to say, and I don't think it's
Yeah.
going to be good.
Mother carrieth
Not good.
often a male birtheth. True story.
Did you see the man who assaulted his wife? Well, then how do you know it's me?
Oh my God.
Do you recognize the items in that picture?
Yes,
And did those belong to Tina as well?
yes, it did.
We'd ask that People's 59 be admitted into
Hey,
evidence. and published,
KG,
Your Honor.
welcome.
Any objection?
You want to know, Your Honor? No, sir.
People's Exhibit 59 will be
Yeah,
admitted without
it's
objection
heartbreaking.
and may be published to the jury.
That's why we try to put in some humor because
First, on
Yeah.
the left side of this picture, there's I guess brown. Just check what color would you call that? Gold purse. Do you recognize that gold purse?
Yes,
Who did that gold purse belong to?
it belonged to.
I'm pretty far away because Sal and Mo have a different monetization limit than I have. I have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watch hours, and I believe Americans only have need to have 500 subscribers and 3,000.
I thought it was 5. Let me check. I
5,000
vaguely
hours.
remember 5.
Oh, that could be 500, 5,000, but I'm 1,000, 4,000, and I'm around 2,200 hours or something. But I really don't care about the monetization. I just care that some of you want to show up, enjoy my stupid takes on most things, and if you could spare $1, maybe put it in the tip jar over at Jamie's Lash Fund. 3,000 hours and 500 subs, Sal said. So it's funny that a market of 365 million people has a lower limit than us with 5.5 million people. But I don't care. It's
Okay, it looks
Thank
like I
you so
need
much.
3,000, and I don't like that we have different things.
no,
Are different.
but it could be that it's rolled out in the US first and then the rest of the world, but I don't know.
I know y'all start tweeting at Twitter or tweeting. Y'all use the Twitter. You know, I don't know how to use it, but y'all use the Twitter and tweet at YouTube, and then make them change it.
So if I got on the American schedule, I would be close-ish. I think I'm over 300 subscribers and I think 2,300 hours. So, but that's not important. I really don't care about this monetization stuffy-duffy because most of it will be going to taxes. Because in the socialist paradise that is Scandinavia, all of us pay our taxes with joy. And what's not joyful?
Wait, I
is-
was told by a man who combs his hair with a balloon that everything is free in Denmark and everywhere. It's all free. You guys eat like, unicorns and candy farts, and everyone has free health care.
Yeah, we only pay 42% taxes, 20% VAT, and if you make more than, I believe, Mads can probably correct me because I live in a part of Denmark where we don't earn that much. You get an increasing pay rate, I think up till 60 or 70% if you earn too much.
So
'Cause we
that
don't like rich
encourages
people.
you to be. Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say that encourages upward mobility. Do you want to pay more taxes? No, thank you. I'd rather just be poor.
But remember, in
I
the
mean,
town
we
where-
love your government.
I love my government. You love my government, or else they cut my internet like they did a couple of days ago. And just remember, in the town where Mads live, you can study Japanese massage / drum therapy.
Tina?
And
Oh,
you see
free.
her wear that purse multiple times.
Yes.
In the middle of the picture, we see checks, and it looks like an ABS. Is that, do you recognize that check?
Yes. That's from American Builder Supply.
Your business?
Yes.
In fact, there's a P.O. Box, Quincy, Illinois. Do you recognize that P.O. Box and the Quincy, Illinois address?
As long as she doesn't
Yes.
watch
Your
them while
business.
driving.
Yes.
It's made payable to who?
To Tina?
And Tina's
Lohman?
your wife?
Yes.
And at the bottom of this,
Oh,
we
sorry,
see a
only
voter ID card.
56%.
And do you recognize the name Christine Lohman at the bottom of that?
Yes,
Is that your wife?
yes,
There's an address on that voter ID card, 4300 North Bottom Road, Quincy, Illinois. Do you recognize that address?
yes, that's my home.
And here there's a bag of jewelry. We showed you that bag of jewelry in preparation for trial. Is that right?
Yes,
Did you recognize that jewelry in that bag?
yes.
And who did that jewelry belong to?
It belonged to Christine or Tina Lohman,
Your wife.
my wife.
Yeah, it's at, and the top tax level is less than 100,000 American dollars. Then you add 15% to everything above that limit. Just everything is free.
Could you look at the next picture, which is People's Exhibit 60? You recognize the items in that?
60?
60.
Hang on a minute here. Yes,
Specifically, is there a rosary in the middle of that?
Objection, Your Honor.
Grounds?
Leading.
All right, overruled again, it's
We found
foundational.
it.
Specifically, is
Yeah,
there
too
a
late.
necklace in the middle of that picture?
there's a rosary in there.
Well, I know it's a rosary. I just didn't want to use that word. So is there a rosary in that picture?
Yes,
Did you recognize that rosary?
yes.
Who did that rosary belong to?
It belonged to Tina.
We'd ask that people 60 be introduced into evidence and published.
Any objection?
Objection, Your Honor.
All right, grounds?
It's my jewelry. It's my rosary.
All right. So we're going to admit People's Exhibit 60 over objection.
Have you seen Tina with that
But
rosary?
there's a lot of
Yes.
sweets in Sweden.
People 61 is a close-up of that same rosary. You recognize, again, the same rosary.
Yes,
We'd ask that 61 be introduced and published.
Any objection?
Once again, the same objection, Your Honor.
All right. And the grounds for the objection?
It's my jewelry. It's my rosary.
I'll admit the People's Exhibit 61 over objection.
What?
Would a man have? Yeah, I'm not.
When you last saw Tina with that rosary, was it broken like that?
no,
You know, I never pictured him as a Catholic.
Yeah, he says it's his rosary, but I've seen
Wonder
some.
what his patron saint is in catechism.
Well,
Saint Douchemaku?
I visited the Vatican and Rome a couple of times, and you can get some fancy ones. But if you're this kind of person, do you run around with a rosary like that, or would you, if you were a believer, have something that probably wasn't worth too much money because you need that for
Yeah.
your
Okay,
diet?
here's where the state, if I were the state, I'd say the Hail Mary and the Our Father. Go.
Yeah. The plan to move to Sweden because there's a lot of Swedes there. That's the biggest flaw in that plan. And yeah, twisted. But that's the problem with Sweden. It's filled with Swedes. It's we kid because we love.
Yes.
Well, it's 2023, Sal. Be whatever
could
you
be
want to
a
be.
dude.
I'm going to have you look at People's Exhibit 62 and 63 and ask if you recognize both of those.
Saint Nicholas is
62
the
and
patron
63,
saint
yes.
of
yes,
repentance.
that's Tina's
deeds.
purse.
And again, the property in that purse, you recognize it belonging to Tina.
Yes, what I can see, yes.
Your Honor, we'd ask that People 62 and 63 be
I
introduced.
don't
and
think
published
he's
to the jury.
repentant.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
People's Exhibit 62 and 63 are admitted without objection
Only
and may be
moose.
published to the jury.
Again,
That was
gold
my
or brown
purse.
that you had seen your wife wear many times, fair to say, at People 62.
That's probably his medication with
Yes.
her name on
And
it
People
too.
63. Same golden brown purse. There's U.S. currency inside the purse. And then the jewelry, the check, and the voter ID card that you identify, correct?
Yes,
So he's claiming the rosary was his, but everything else he hasn't said anything about.
No. Yeah.
Were all the things that we just saw in the photographs, were all those things missing on November 9th at 6 p.m. when you arrived at the house?
Yes.
And were they, to the best of your knowledge, all in the house when you left for work
How
that morning?
young is this
Yes.
court reporter?
Your
5?
Honor, we've been going for a
Well,
couple of
she looks
hours.
like
I've got
she's
a few
about
more
ready to
questions
cry.
with regard to physical exhibits. It's going to take a couple seconds to get those out. It might be a good time for a break. I can prepare those things so that we're not
How long do you think you'll need?
10 minutes.
All right, we'll take a brief recess for 10 minutes, till 10 till 11. Returning after a break, it's now, and Mr. Jones, he is in the process.
I am, Your Honor.
All right, you may do so.
Your Honor,
Oh.
so Mr. Schmidt, for the record, we're now going to open this people exhibit number 2. Do you recognize what I'm holding in my hand?
Yes, that is the railroad spike that was turned into a knife that was on the floor in the house.
That is a cool idea. I mean,
Yeah, it's a pretty cool knife. The defendant said it was his rosary. It was found at his house, I believe. We haven't heard where it was found, but all the other stuff was in his place. And if you saw some of the pictures, it looked kind of like a meth house. So that's the only thing he said was not hers was the rosary. And the checks from his firm is just a coincidence they were there, because this case are the biggest coincidences you'll ever see, ever. Mother told me so.
but like his dear mother said, if the rosary is his, it's not this kid. Oh, for the love of-
But that's a big problem. It's the biggest problem. Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be making fun of meth houses. Maybe
Why?
I have
he's
a
just a method. He's a method actor. That's all we knew. I mean, he was simply looking to start a role as a horrible human being, and like all good actors, he has to. You
he
have to
did the Daniel
become.
Day-Lewis, the
Yeah,
Jared Leto, whatever his name is.
Leto.
He went into
That
deep.
man is so pretty, but he is so weird.
I'm not weird.
Jared Leto.
Oh, yeah. I think he's a bad actor.
What we saw in the
It's all in the pictures, yes.
Your Honor, we'd ask the people's exhibit 2 be introduced today.
Any objection? No, absolutely not, Your Honor. Exhibit 2 is admitted without objection.
No, right in front of the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
And
It's like when you're trying to open a Little Debbie quietly.
You recognize this bag jewelry?
Kind of hard to see, but yeah.
Your Honor, can I have the bailiff?
Yes.
The prosecutor has his gloves on, no one else.
Yes,
And who does that jewelry belong to?
that jewelry belonged to my wife.
It was in your house at 6 o'clock in the morning when you left that morning?
Yes.
And it was missing at 6 p.m. when you returned? Your Honor, we'd ask the people exhibit 7 be introduced to evidence.
Any objection?
Finally,
No,
a screen with good microphones, and he uses it for wrapping
People's
papers
exhibit
around,
8.
plastic around the mic.
And you get to hear it from both
Specifically, in
sides.
people's
So
exhibit 8,
wonderful.
do you see that rosary?
Yes,
And who did that rosary belong to?
rosary belonged to my wife, Christine.
We'd ask the people's 8 be introduced to the admitted evidence, Your Honor.
Any objection? Yes, sir. Grounds? It's my jewelry, Your Honor.
Look at her.
It's all his jewelry now,
That
not just the
side,
rosary.
that side eye, man. Woo. That was precious.
Hey, Josie, we're just watching Bradley Yohn replay from Tuesday because the Texas case, first of all, it was killing Jamie and me. I is the correct way to pronounce that. And then Jamie and I had a little talk about jumping on the Bradley Yohn case. We know Sal is going to pick it up on Saturday, but we thought we'll keep you ladies warm for him So we will just do a bit of it through the week instead of sitting here watching the Texas trial. And funnily enough, one of the jurors in the Texas trial got the disease we can't mention on YouTube. So now we're just going to do this for a bit longer, probably like 50 minutes more, so I can get off in a reasonable hour. And then you can watch Sal do Nicholas's stream tonight at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. Sal will be hosting for Nicholas. But this trial is the Bradley Yohn, I believe it's named, a guy who's pro se, accused of home invasion, aggravated car theft, and essay of a 77-year-old lady, and her husband is on the stand right now.
People's exhibit number 9 is the coin purse, the ABS checks, and the voter ID card. If you recognize that, sir.
Yes.
Did those belong to Tina Loman as well? They were
That's
in your
what I
house
was
on
thinking.
the 9th, and you left the court, they're missing.
I took my headphones off because, what did you say?
No, I said, you put that up about Tweety. She said he looked like Billy Corgan. That's who I was like, God, he looks so familiar.
I don't know who Billy Corgan is.
From the Smashing Pumpkins? That band?
I heard the name.
You can probably look it up and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I'm not looking at the male musician thinking, oh my.
No,
My G-string.
he's not a good looking guy. I don't think so. I just was like, he looks familiar. Not my style.
Go into the light, EU. Go through the light. Just think about the Texas case and then walk straight into the light.
And you return.
Yes.
We ask the people to exhibit 9 be introduced as evidence, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No.
People's exhibit 9, submitted without objection.
Exhibit 10. Sir, is that a set of car keys for that Toyota Avalon that we saw the pictures of?
Yes.
And did those car keys belong to Tina Loman?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, you had them when you left for work that morning,
Yes.
and they were missing when you returned.
Yes.
People's exhibit 11. Gold brown purse, do you recognize that purse?
Yes.
And who did that purse belong to?
It belongs to Tina, Christina,
Your wife?
my wife.
I'm starting an ASMR channel later.
My sons would probably subscribe to it. They love this crap.
Yes.
Is that the watch and the pin that we saw in the previous photographs?
Yes.
The Star Trek pin that you described for?
Yes.
Who did that belong to?
That belongs to my wife.
Yeah,
It
that was
in
a
your
great
house
show.
on
I heard
November
they're
9th,
going to remake it.
2021,
That's
when you
going to
left
be
for work, to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
probably not great.
Yes.
Rather, we'd ask that people's 11 and 12 be introduced and 10 be introduced this evening.
All right, Mr. Yohn, any objection to introduction of People's Exhibit 10?
No, Your Honor.
Exhibit 10 is admitted without objection. Any objection to People's 11?
No.
Exhibit 12 without objection. People's 12, any objection?
At least this guy isn't objecting to everything like Darrell Brooks did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just said that I remember Night Court. It was a great show. I heard they were going to make a remake. It's going to be not great.
It's with his daughter because, you know, the force is female. Everything is
Oh.
female now.
It's probably because this room is so big, so they amp the gain on the microphones. And if we do it back in our houses, you could hear all our computers and all the other stuff going on around us, probably more than you can hear us because it lowers the noise gate. So it picks up everything.
Good to know.
No, sir.
People's Exhibit 12 will be admitted without objection.
A few more questions, sir, and we'll be done. Before November 9th, 2021, have you ever heard the name Bradley Yohn before?
No,
Have you ever seen Bradley Yohn before?
no,
To the best of your knowledge, had Bradley Yohn ever had any contact with your wife or seen alone?
no,
Had Bradley Yohn ever been in your house
no,
before November 9th?
no,
Had he ever worn shoes in your house?
no,
Had he ever touched anything in your house where it would leave a fingerprint?
no.
Had he ever touched anything in your house where it would leave that safe? Had he ever touched that safe? to
It
your knowledge?
seems like there's a lot of fingerprints in this case.
The
That's bad.
car that we saw, that white Toyota Avalon, before November 9th, 2021, to your knowledge, had Bradley Yohn ever driven that car before?
No,
Had he ever had possession of that car?
no,
Did Tina give him that car?
no.
Did Tina give him her purse?
Objection, Your Honor.
Grounds?
The witness does not know whether or not such person, Tina CL, gave him the car or has ever been in the home, or what Tina may have done outside of his presence.
All right, I will
Yeah.
overrule the objection as to the question asked regarding to this witness's, to the best of his knowledge, had Bradley Yohn ever been to the house or no Tita Lohman? State, and will sustain the objection as to the vehicle and purse questions. Suggest the state rephrase the question.
To the best of your knowledge, did your
Auto
wife
CC is always the
give
best of
vehicle to
trials.
Bradley Yohn?
No,
To the best of your knowledge, did your wife give her purse to Bradley Yohn?
no,
To the best of your knowledge, did she give her voter ID card to Bradley Yohn?
no,
To the best of your knowledge, did she give her Star Trek pin that you and she bought at Las Vegas to Bradley Yohn?
she loved that. No,
Her watch, did she give that to Bradley Yohn to the best of your knowledge?
no.
Thank you, sir. That's all the questions I have.
Mr. Yohn, cross-examine.
Your Honor, yes, sir.
So, this was the state leading the husband through his testimony, and he was led a lot. He could have objected a lot of times about this, but I think he did really good.
Yeah.
They put in all the right stuff and painted a picture of it couldn't have been given to him in another way. But let's
Yeah.
see how this intellectual, do you call them lighthouses, or what do you call them in the US?
Well, we call them galaxy brains sometimes, mega minds, and our intellectual betters with eye rolls. Or at least that's what I'd call them.
Yeah.
But flaming moron might be better.
Or a rocket surgeon.
Yes, rocket surgeon. Let's see what this. Yes.
Mr. Schmidt,
Oh
I
my
apologize for
God,
having to be here today. However, that is not under my control. I understand it's a difficult time for you and your family. I'm sure you prefer not to be here.
Objection, Your Honor. I need to ask a question.
All right, Mr. Yohn, if you could ask your questions of this witness.
You stated your name as Timothy Schmidt, obviously, correct?
Yes,
And your age and occupation, you're 60,
I'm 66 years old.
and your occupation is American Builder Supply, which you own.
Yes,
And obviously your relation to CL was husband, correct?
yes,
You stated that you've known CL for approximately, or we're engaged in a relationship with CL for approximately 36 years, true?
yes,
And been married for 2.
yes.
Why only 2?
So
swear to God, if you ask the question,
you
I'm
own your
gonna
own
lose
business,
it.
true?
Yes.
You're obviously a very smart man. You're educated. I will not take that from you. Your memory is pretty swell, would it not be?
It's pretty good.
Thank you for that.
What?
So you do remember the evening of November 9th?
Yes,
And you stated that you left work sometime around a bit after 5 o'clock.
This part I don't
Yes.
get. I saw this part.
Could you determine maybe potentially 15-minute range of how the length of that?
Objection, Your Honor. Asked and answered. The witness said it was around 5.
Around 5. So
Overrule the objection. He may answer if he knows.
would you repeat that again?
could you give a close description of the approximate time within maybe 5 or 10 minute range of the time of leaving your home? I mean, excuse me, leaving your place.
I just gonna.
Wait, what? Well, he wants
you
to
repeat
know
that
what
again?
time he left his job.
Could you give a close description of the approximate time within maybe 5 or 10?
Could you give a close description of the approximate time within maybe 5 or 10 minutes when you left
Because the
after 5?
15-minute window was just too hard to count with,
Yeah.
your fingers and toes. Oh my God.
But how could you give a closer description of the approximate time? That's not a sentence you can use. Can you give an approximate time, or could you describe
Could
closely?
you narrow down? Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you? But
How about
no.
you just say, do you know what time he left the?
But
You're
it's just the way.
Like, so stupid.
I know speaking English, but that's a strange way of phrasing it.
He's
trying to
trying.
sound smart.
Yeah, he's trying to sound smart, but he's just sounding confusing. If
Yeah.
you'd like to sound smart, you need to be direct and clear and use the soul of brevity, or the soul of wit is brevity. Long jokes, no good. Short jokes, good.
It's the old adage about better to keep silent and let people believe you're an idiot than open your mouth and prove them right.
Yeah.
I should have thought about that before going on YouTube. Yeah, he probably bathed in a thesaurus. That's a strange word. And we know he knows all the words.
Minute range of the time of leaving your home. Leaving your place of business.
It would have been sometime after 5 o'clock.
Maybe 5:15, 5:20.
Possible. Well, it probably wouldn't have been that late. It would have been closer to right after 5 o'clock.
Okay, so 5:05, 5:20.
Yes.
Thank you. And you stated that you were at Farm and Home for approximately 40 minutes, correct?
I was at Farm and Home for some time. I don't have the exact amount of time it was, but yes.
And then you wrote, you upon leaving Farm and Home, you arrived at your house, your residence, approximately 6 p.m. a bit after.
Yes.
And you observed tire marks also in your yard. Correct?
Yes.
They weren't normal.
No.
Thank you. You stated what the garage looked like that morning. Mr. Smith, was the garage any different than when you arrived home?
Well, the car was in the garage when I went to work.
Okay, and so she was still at home when you went to work.
Yes.
Upon arriving home, did you pull into the garage?
Yes, I believe I did. Yes.
And you parked probably, possibly, potentially in the parking space?
In the Texas case, yeah, I would do that if a juror went out with COVID and the alternate haven't been in the jail or the courthouse. I would ask for mistrial too. I'm pretty sure he's not going to get it, but I would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have proven my stupidity. Mo can't do anything. I'm the captain now.
I was about to say, I don't know how to do anything. You are asking the wrong person.
Well, I have these, we call them Popeye arms we get when we're baking. And they've been small since I don't really bake as much anymore. So
Popeye arms.
don't talk about but it's cheaper to get tattoos on them because they're not that big anymore. But let's jump into this again, and I'll try to see if I can figure something out about
to the right.
Texas.
Yes.
That pile. Thank you. And could you tell us maybe when you noticed that door, the inner door that had been kicked in, did you notice that maybe before you got out of your truck or instantly?
I didn't notice it until I got up to it.
Okay, thank you. But it was open, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Smith, I apologize for having to go into these details again. I'm sure you do not want to rehash them. You walked inside and your wife, CL, was sitting on the floor, correct?
Yes.
And as stated, that was in front of the chair?
Yes.
And she was sitting on the quilt, as you said?
Yes.
That was on the quilt?
She was sitting on the quilt, yes.
Okay, thank you. Do you remember what your wife was wearing? by any
English
chance?
is the third or fourth language.
No, I don't.
She was wearing some type
She had some clothing on, but I don't even remember exactly what she had on, no.
of pants, shirt, bra?
I'm not sure exactly what she had on.
You don't remember her having bottoms on?
Objection, Your Honor. Asked and answered. The witness has said he doesn't remember.
Well, we've gone at it 3 different ways, Mr. Yohn, so I'm going to sustain the
We haven't heard
objection. The witness
anything about
testifies
it,
he does
and
not recall
The
what she had
witness
on.
said
Thank you,
his name, her
Well-
name, not the last name.
No, but the
Mr. Schmidt,
defendant
I understand
hasn't
you're
been
in home
using
building,
it. It's
American Building
CL.
Supply. You're probably educated in home building or whatnot.
Gigi, not that we don't would want you to go or anything, or trying to keep you here by force, but Nicholas's stream will be late today. It will be at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Sal will be covering for Nick because Nick has personal things he had to take care of. Just so you know, so you're not leaving in anticipation that he's going to be on at 1 p.m. as he normally is. So we hate to see you go, but you're always welcome back if you have the time.
Mhm.
There's no death sentence in Illinois, as far as I'm told. Yeah, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's a proper way to write the time.
Tell us approximately how far from the door that chair might be.
I'm not sure exactly how far that is from the front door.
Maybe 20 feet, 15 feet.
It would be farther than that.
And upon walking in, you state that you observed.
Yeah, I saw that one too, but Sal is taking over, so Nicholas probably forgot to change the clock. So, but you're always welcome back. Yeah,
Yep.
excuse you. You better say that.
Excuse you what, Lefty?
Yeah, did you fart? You farted.
We are 12.
A can and a knife in the middle of the floor, correct?
When I got into the house, I saw the can and the knife on the floor, yes.
The unaliving part has nothing to do with this case because it was a month later that she died. So they can't link it directly to this case.
Could you describe approximately the location of that can and that knife?
They are over in the kitchen area.
If you would give me 1 second, please. Upon entering, could you give your recollection of the events that occurred upon your entry of the home?
Objection calls for a narrative.
Overruling me answer the question.
Would you repeat that?
If you would you relate once more the turn of events as you entered the home? What procedure you took, how you went about the situation?
I walked into the house. I saw my wife sitting on the floor in tears, and she told me they raped me.
And then you went on in to find a firearm for her?
And I went in and I got a firearm. She told me that she was told that they would be back.
Okay, and that firearm, where did you retrieve that firearm from?
I got it from the bedroom.
That would have been
Closet in the bedroom.
the south bedroom, correct?
It would be a bedroom on the east side of the house, where the chest of drawers was.
Yes, sir. And then you proceeded back to your wife and you gave her the firearm for protection, correct?
Yes.
Then you I believe in your statement you stated that you then called the police, law
I
enforcement.
called 911, yes.
Do you remember right about what time that may have been? How long it was after you arrived home?
It wasn't very long.
Could you give a approximately
No.
5 minute length?
I would just say no. Like, I can't help you. I don't know. I don't remember.
It was only a few
I'd go
minutes.
full Travis
So you
from
obviously talked to her
the Rudolph
for
Yeah.
trial.
a small amount of time, retrieved the firearm and talked to her, and then you went out to retrieve your phone from your truck, right?
Yes, she needed an ambulance, or she needed medical attention.
Okay.
Do you think it's going to be a coincidence that they find this defendant like really, really,
In
really?
your statement, you stated that your
Guilty.
wife was drinking some type of liquid. You're right.
They're not even going to get
I'm going to
into the
object at this
door.
point when he says statement. The witness didn't testify to that, so I'm not sure what statement he's referring to.
Sustained.
Mr. Schmidt you made a statement, correct?
Nope.
A video statement.
What's that?
You made a video recorded statement, correct? With officers of Adams County Sheriff's Department.
Objection, Your Honor. The improper impeachment at this point has not been confronted with that statement.
Sustained.
And you stated you don't remember the clothing your wife.
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained.
The judge has already boarded with this trial. Well, not bored, finished with this trial.
Upon calling 911, did you tell us approximately how long it was before officers arrived? To your best estimated guess.
Yes.
I don't know exactly. It wasn't very long. They responded pretty quickly.
And you
Your best
made
estimate
that call at 6:09 p.m.
guess is an estimate.
I don't remember exactly what time it was.
I think I speak better English than he do.
Yeah. We are all poet laureates compared to this man.
You
Yeah, he
stated
would
that
just ask, where
CL, your wife,
drinking?
said that she had been robbed, sexually assaulted, and hijacked.
He's blinking really
Could you
fast. I
potentially
think
go
he's,
into a
he's
bit more
gonna break.
detail as to what she stated to you upon the minutes of being there before the police arrived or before you made the 911 call?
Is he really
She told me
asking
she
this
had been
man
raped.
how his wife was crying?
And
Yeah.
I went and got the phone, and I went out in the garage, and I called the police department. I called 911.
Okay, and you made that call from the garage, or did you?
I made it from outside the house. I went out to see if anybody else was coming back, and I called the police. I called 911
Out in your garage.
from out in the garage.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Schmidt, is it possible that that be false information?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Your Honor, there's a 911 call that shows.
Objection, Your Honor.
The objection's been sustained. You need to ask your
Put it
questions
into
to this witness.
Evidence, if you want to ask about it.
That was a very brief conversation, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Which conversation?
The conversation with your wife
Hold
was
on.
very,
When there's an objection, I'll need to address either sustained or overruled. And Mr. Yohn, I'm going to sustain the objection and ask you to ask a more specific question.
are you aware that your wife, excuse me, are you aware that your wife CL stated that you arrived home?
Objection, Your Honor. Improper impeachment.
And that will be sustained.
If he's beginning to lose it.
His assistant's counsel
The
is
floor
like,
plan of
please
your
God,
home,
let this
where
be
CL
done.
was located, sitting on that floor. In the pictures, it appeared to be a very slim path in between the chair and the trash can or the wall. If you may, I assume that path was clear for you to walk through in order to retrieve that gun from that bedroom, eastern bedroom.
Yes. It's
No.
not enough for me to get through.
Nothing on the floor there, right?
Well, the
Yeah, the Elaine
cleaner
statement.
was on the floor, but it wasn't right there in the hallway where I walked through. No.
All right. So the hallway was clear of debris, trash, clothing, or anything else that may have obstructed your path to this room to get to this gun, besides the cleaner, correct?
Where's this going with this one?
I walked straight into the east bedroom and retrieved the firearm.
Your Honor, would you direct the witness to answer the question, please?
Yeah.
If you could rephrase the question, maybe he's not understanding what you're asking.
That walkway that you had to walk through, which is in between the chair and the trash can, there are the pictures that we observed. I believe Exhibit 45 and
True
42.
statement has
That's a
not
very
been
simple
stated
pathway.
ever in
Mr.
statements
Smith,
of statement.
you're a resident of that home. Again, I'm assuming the walkway was clear of debris, trash, clothing, or anything else that may have obstructed your path to this room to get to this gun, correct? Besides the can.
What?
I believe there were some other items there on the floor, but it did not obstruct me from going in there.
Thank you.
My brain hurts.
And upon calling 911, you stated you were in the garage when you called 911. Did you remain in the garage
something is wrong
until police arrived, waiting for them?
No, I went back into the house.
And could you tell us how you proceeded from that point on?
I checked on my wife to see if she was okay, and I looked out the windows to see when they were coming.
So you were potentially back, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'll reword that. So you were back and forth to the windows, correct?
Yes.
Is he going to say she hid evidence or something or made it
What
all?
windows in front of your home that would allow you to observe officers coming?
There's a set of windows there in the kitchen in front of the sink that you can look out over to the north of the house.
A single set or a double?
It's two windows.
You sure you did not stand there holding her hand?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Sir,
Mr. Schmidt, can you describe the items that are there in your home, specifically there in the vicinity of that chair?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained, Mr. Yohn, if you could direct your questions to the specific chair and narrow it down for him so he can give you the answer you're looking for.
There is a green chair, a plaid chair, that your wife CL was to have been seated in front of when you entered the home, correct?
Yes.
And can you name off some of the items at the time that were in the vicinity of that chair as far as furniture, maybe in their placement?
Well,
What
there would have
does it
been an
matter?
ottoman that would have been off to the side. And
yeah, I'm confused now.
there was a table between that chair
Is
and
it to
another
try
chair.
and impeach that he doesn't remember anything, or I really
Would you
don't
say
get this
that
one.
the ottoman is directly in front of that table? Or was directly in front of the table at the time?
It was moved out of the way, but I don't remember exactly where it was at.
You said you were back and forth to your wife from the window to the, excuse me, from your wife to the window. When you were at your wife's side, what did you do?
This
I'm
dude.
sorry. What the?
To the best of your knowledge or remembrance.
Baker, it's 3 hours in. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Or do you want me not to use?
You
All right, y'all. Take your small children out. It's coming up. It's coming out, but fuck this motherfucker all the way to fucking hell.
yeah.
Sec-
And this keeps going for 50 minutes.
50
More.
minutes?
50.
So
You can already tell this
Hopefully
man's
not
blood
all.
pressure is.
I'm just gonna write down 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 53 seconds. Then we can pick it up there tomorrow because I'm getting angry. and I don't like to be angry when I'm streaming, but I'm going to be angry again tomorrow. Why do you want to know what's in the room? Why do you want to know what he did to his wife who was crying, bleeding from orifices
Yeah,
you
and he's
shouldn't
like, "You
be
didn't
bleeding
hold her
from in
hand?"
Do you want to hear? Yeah, I comforted my newly raped wife. I gave her a gun because she was afraid for her life because you told her you came back. That he hasn't said anything. You did it. You something. Words I not speak it canneth this hour.
I do like that I think they had a pretrial motion that the defendant could not say her name. That's why he keeps using CL. At least I hope.
Yeah,
Because
probably. I thought this could be funny because he's such a raving idiot. But starting out with the husband, yeah, that's not that fun.
No.
But everybody, I'll be going now because it's 7 my time. We'll keep an eye on the Texas case. I'll see if I can find anything about the mistrial thing that Jung Min wrote about. Sorry, I got angry. And I'll have to go and help one of my neighbors try to fix her television. It's jumping. I hope it's the picture, not the television, because I'm not an ordained priest. I love that someone called me and said, "Could you stop by and help me? My TV is jumping." I think it's the picture. I hope it's the picture.
I think they're just trying to get you alone. That's fine.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of
lady, so
What'd you say?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
So, yeah, and you should kid. So everyone, we'll pick this up tomorrow, probably a little bit earlier if I could get my angels out of bed that early, because then I can go a bit longer.
You know, I get.
And
I
I know you
early.
ladies like it when we go a bit longer. So talking about going long, Mo.
Hi guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End. We had some technical difficulties last night. Apparently, we need to uninstall and reinstall Edge. I don't know if you use Magic or a wand. Not quite sure. Mr. Mo's going to do that. So I will probably be popping on to help Sal, but until we do all the magical things to fix the NinjaNet, I probably won't do a stream until tomorrow night. But we have fun, we have court, we have crime, we have cursey words. Come over. And we've got Granny. We've got Southern Granny, semi-church lady.
Yeah.
And then Jamie.
Hi.
Don't you always love it when your face just becomes a big face in front of you and you're like,
hi.
Like,
Look at those lashes.
I'm just
You
hanging
can
out.
support those lashes.
Yeah, support these lashes. Yeah, I probably will go hang out with Sal later. So come over and hang out. Okay.
Yeah, I want to see what happens too, Mo. You can't.
What?
I just removed myself from stream. So this is yeah. I'm gonna go fix a jumping TV. We'll try to start at I think around 9 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, God willing, and no jumping TV women coming out of it, killing me. I don't know. Yeah, it could be the Poltergeist TV. I'm close to choosing to go into the light if the Texas case keeps going. But everyone,
I'll probably just put it on Discord. Just because I can do it on my laptop when I'm not using it. So
yeah, and a lot of people jumped off when we started signing off, so we're just gonna end it here. And please like, subscribe, all the stuff, and support the Jamie Lash Fund.